Arigatou gozaimashita, minna, Goshojin-sama, and everyone in between. Thank you all so much for joining us today, and I hope you all have a wonderful time here at the Hayami Estate. We are having a lovely chat with a Super Sentai VTuber from the looks of it, Rocky Raigeki.
Hi everyone, thank you for inviting me over here. It's a pleasure.
The pleasure is all mine.
The pleasure is all mine, dear.
I'm my guest.
Yeah, so I thought it would be a special occasion, so I brought my best suit. Let me just take this off. Hey guys, how you doing?
An Oni VTuber.
I'm a Raijin.
Oh, Raijin.
Yeah.
So, pardon me.
Like a thunder god.
I am still a little ignorant to Japanese culture, so do pardon me.
No problem. Yeah. I like talking about Japanese mythology and all that. So.
I am a huge mythology nerd, so you got me there. So why not give yourself an introduction here at the estate for everyone who's new here?
So hey guys, I'm Rocky Raigeki. I like to do art streams. We do like Masterpiece Mondays on Mondays, where we like draw VTubers and like different versions of them and stuff. We do like Doodle Dudes Days, which is like on Tuesdays, where we like just doodle. And I do gaming streams too.
Birth.
What is it?
What? Sorry,
I didn't hear you.
I didn't say anything.
He's just making a bit of a joke at my expense there.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't hear. And yeah, I do gaming streams too. Lately, I've just been streaming Genshin, despite even though I'm not really into Genshin, but like my fans keep forcing me to play that game. So
my condolences. Yeah. You shouldn't let your fans dictate you, honestly.
Yeah, but you know, I love my fans. So we play Genshin.
You do, but if they loved you, they wouldn't force you to play Genshin.
It's like, if you love me, let me go.
Tell them that. So yeah, that's me, Rocky Raigeki.
Yes, and for all the new people here who aren't familiar with Welcome to the Hayami Estate, I invite VTubers to my home and just have a lovely chat with them about things related to them or just things related to life in general.
Well, I am here to embarrass her live on stream.
Yes. Isn't that the job of a husband, though?
No, it's the job of a dad. But I guess you can call me daddy.
So, what made you decide to be a VTuber, Rocky?
I've actually I haven't really been interested in VTubing all that much. Like, unlike a lot of people on like Twitter and stuff, I'm not really like caught up with like the bigger ones. Like, I haven't been watching too much.
Would you say you sort of fell into it? Because that's more common than you think. I know of at least 2 other people who accidentally fell into VTubing.
That would be one of them. Would be me.
Yep.
Yeah. So, as an artist, like, I kind of like thought of like new ways to make money, and I thought like I saw like my friend, he makes like VTuber models, and he said it's like, oh, each one costs like $1,000. I'm like, oh, that's pretty nice. So I learned how to create models. Like, this model I made myself. Like, all my models I made myself. And I thought I would just make models to make money. And the funny thing is, like, I'm too lazy to make them for other people. So I'm like, I'm just gonna VTube. and it turned out to be a fun hobby. Also, a big part of like my motivation to be a VTuber is my friend Freya Rue, and I've been a fan of her, and she convinced me into like trying VTubing out, and it's been really fun so far. I met a lot of cool people while I do the VTubing thing. Eventually, I'll be able to sell models, but I'm just like too lazy to commission anything. So
I feel that.
Yeah.
I can't draw, and every time I try to draw, I end up breaking into tears anyway. So there's that.
Oh, why tears? It's okay.
How much do you know about Felicity here?
Not too much.
Let's just say she's the unluckiest person ever, and not in a funny way, in the like most of her life has been absolute living hell kind of way.
Oh, how so?
Where do I begin?
Dysfunctional family. I've
10 years in an abusive relationship.
Oh,
I was kidnapped as a child, watched someone die in front of me.
At least, like, 3 times.
I was sent to an asylum.
What?
Yep.
Okay,
not like a mental hospital, an asylum.
Let's make sure that we keep this to a more upbeat mood, since the background music is that, and this is meant to be a fun interview.
I mean, I was trying to like be really subtle with it.
That's okay. I like to be
but
open with
yeah, at least like it's inspirational, you know. Like, you went through that,
exactly.
And you have this following, you know. Like, you've started this thing, you know. Despite
and she's still bewildered at the fact that she is growing.
Yeah.
I mean,
so I admire you. I admire you. That's good.
Oh,
you're going through all those hardships, and it brought you here.
I'm just a woman that likes to put herself into things that she really shouldn't.
No, I think you should be here. I think this is a good thing, you know. Like, despite all that.
Every single day, I just enjoy VTubing more and more. That's good. It's just. How are we today? Ultima is asking. Well, I'm doing just peachy. After stream today, I'm going to be making pasta carbonara. So that's one thing.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm the chef in this relationship.
That's nice.
Like if I had it my way, my entire back garden would just be like an herb garden and things like that.
Oh, that's nice.
But
Yeah.
I live in a tiny ass studio apartment that's part of
Oh, you can...
a larger complex that's designed for disabled people.
Oh. Uh, do you put raw eggs in your carbonara?
Yes, that's the traditional way of doing it.
Yeah, that's the right way. Yeah.
And then like I saw Cooking with Dogs version of it, and I was just like, I gotta try this, and I absolutely love it.
Oh, nice.
Oh, hold on a second. I just have to go and grab something real quick. Be right back.
Okay, no problem.
When audio. Okay, thank you very much, Chaos, for redeeming a drink for me.
Oh, every time I take a sip of this coffee, my models passes out.
There we go. Oh, oh, Chaos, I'm not a missus yet. Oh, that's so sweet of you, Chaos. And thank you very much for the first time chat. I hope you enjoy your stay here at the Hayami Estate. I'm glad that everyone could make it. So, since you started VTubing, Rocky, aside from your good friend, any other VTubers that you find yourself watching a lot?
Oh, I watch a lot of Rinne and this Filipino VTuber because I live in Japan, so not a lot of English people stream in my time zone. So
are you native
to
Japan?
No, I'm not native in Japan. I'm from America, but not a lot of people like stream English stuff over here.
So what caused you to move?
Job. Financial stuff. Yeah.
Interesting. I was expecting the because of a massive weeb answer.
Yeah, that's part of it too, I guess.
Is it?
I love the culture.
Is it true that the maid cafes over there are like more elaborate than the ones in the US?
I've never been to any. Well, I've been to a maid cafe here once. I've never been to one in America. And I gotta say,
have
like,
you been to a topless arcade, which I just learned about yesterday?
To what arcade?
Topless arcade.
Topless arcade? No.
Yes. It's actually quite an interesting idea.
I haven't been,
Very
but
good.
I'm interested. Can you explain what those are?
Oh,
It's exactly what it sounds like.
Essentially,
You go in topless, or like the people working there are topless?
The female workers there are well, most of the workers there are female, and they are topless.
I mean, if I started playing Street Fighter and like a bunch of like bouncing stuff like juts out of my face, I'd be pretty distracted.
Exactly, that's the point.
That's the challenge.
That way you have to spend more coins.
I wouldn't be able to spam my Hadoukens if Hadoukens.
If they have what they call red light karaoke, then they
got a lot of fun stuff here. Yeah.
Oh my god! One thing I really do want to try when I go to Japan is the shopping in Akihabara.
Oh yeah. I've been to Akihabara multiple times. It's pretty fun. But it's very touristy. So like if you imagine if you think you'll be like just shopping in this like all beautiful, pristine like aisles of anime merch. No, it's usually overpriced stuff because there's a bunch of tourists and you'll be walking like it's really crowded most of the time. So a good alternative, I think, might like a slight alternative because it's still kind of bad crowd-wise, is Ikebukuro. Yeah, that one also has that part of Tokyo also has a bunch of anime merch. but it's not like as famous internationally as Akihabara, because everyone knows Akihabara. You'll see a bunch of like foreign tourists there and stuff.
Because I mainly, aside from the shopping in Akihabara, I want to see those giant 4D displays they have on the buildings. I see them online and they wig me out. Like, holy shit, I could touch that.
Yeah.
I was just like, man, Japan is just leagues ahead of the rest of us.
What was that? I think you were cut off.
She does that a lot.
I said that Japan is just leagues ahead of us in terms of like entertainment technology, all forms of technology, to be honest.
Oh, that's why like the what I thought Japan was before coming here, but Japan is actually pretty like old school when it comes to technology.
I don't expect them to be like forefront of weapons technology or like AI.
Yeah. So you see all these robot stuff. Like you would think like Japan has all this like technology and robot stuff. They don't, like most Japanese banks don't have like online banking. Most people.
Okay, no, that I did not.
Yeah. And also most people only accept cash. So like you bring your credit card here, like they're like, oh, I don't know what to do with this. So they only accept cash. It's mostly a cash-based society. What else? So going to a Japanese bank is hell, because everything takes paper, and you gotta bring this thing called a hanko, which is a stamp. So you gotta like stamp stuff with a hanko, and
I've seen that in some animes where it's like you go to the bank and then it's like, okay, how much you want to withdraw, you get the money and then you have to stamp.
You gotta stamp. There's no online banking. What else? There's other things that's like technology, like not good in Japan.
Well, I know
I could go on and on.
I know that the housing situation over there isn't exactly the best.
Yeah. So if you don't,
housing?
I don't know. What do you mean by housing's not the best?
From what I've seen, and one of my Japanese friends who then decided to stop talking to me after I got a boyfriend.
Simp.
So he told me that a lot of new places that are being built are being more built like capsule hotels. So they're just getting smaller and smaller.
Oh, that's how it is in the big cities. I don't live in the big cities.
Yeah, if I were to move anywhere in Japan, it would either be like it wouldn't be Tokyo. It would either be Hiroshima or Nekojima.
Yeah. So the Cat Island.
Yes.
Even the Cat Island.
The Cat Island even has passports for their cats. Of course, I'm gonna move to Nekojima.
Yeah, there's actually multiple cat islands. I think there's multiple Nekojimas.
Oh my god, yes!
It's
I know that
it's actually kind of sad why they became cat islands, because a lot of people move out of those islands and they get abandoned, and just like the cats take over, and then the people come back and they're like, oh, look at all these cats that just ran wild. And it became like a tourist destination.
These cats are not feral by the least. They're still friendly.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of people in those islands, so like they kind of like don't interact with people all that much. When tourists come,
they go to the fishermen, and that's how they're still so friendly.
Yeah,
and the
fishermen like feed them like the extra fish and stuff. I think. There's also an island full of rabbits. And an island
that one. It's also full of chemical weapon facilities.
Yeah.
But then there's also is there, if I can remember, there's a Fox Island as well.
Yeah. There's a Fox Island.
Which are you I thought it was a fox village.
Yeah, there's a
Or
fox
is that something
village.
completely different?
Oh no, there's a fox village, but there's also a fox island.
Yeah, there's a lot of foxes.
Why is everything in Japan so themed?
Tourism. A lot of the money comes from tourism, to be honest.
Like, I had a feeling that like Japan's main export probably has to be like culture and tourism at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is true. And,
But you know,
like Kyoto was about to go bankrupt like a few years ago because of the Rona, and now they're back.
woo!
Kyoto's packed with people, but packed with tourists from everywhere. Not just international tourists. It's a popular vacation spot for Japanese people
Yeah.
too.
The thing is here in Australia, they're banning international students from like 5 universities here in Australia. They're banning international students from India.
Oh,
Here's the reason.
Interesting.
A lot of fraudulent visa applications have come in where they'll say that they want to study, and instead they go to find employment.
oh,
I believe that. Like,
So-
why just
one
like
thing, if I can put my input on this, because this is somewhat related. My brother used to be a TA, and he asked a friend of his from India who he met in university, why is it that all these Indian students are cheating? Because it was like a very consistent thing, and he said, yeah, it's because like basically if you don't make it in a foreign university, you have to go back to India. And this is someone who was raised in India who said India is shit, and so not only do they cheat, but they help each other cheat, like they're in the trenches together, sort of thing. Which I think is a very interesting mentality.
So, yeah, these 5 universities here in Australia basically say, you know what, we're going to have to ban it's not all Indian students, it's just from these 6 different sects
regions.
regions of India, and I'm like, oh dear.
Yeah, that is kind of sus.
Yeah, like
I wouldn't ban like a whole country just because like a people of that race. Like, it was kind of.
I mean, keep in mind as well that there's a lot of people from India, so proportionally,
Yeah.
it's probably like a massive floodgate as well.
Right.
So yeah.
Kind of sus. That policy.
Well, it's only these 5 universities here, in which I'm like, I went to one of the top 3 universities in Australia, and I can tell you right now, they don't mess around. I could not keep up. 7 assignments due on the same day in 2 weeks.
I should
In
also
2
note
weeks!
that while I am shitting on Indian students for cheating, I did a lot of it as well, and I have no shame because college can go fuck itself. It almost radicalized me because of how stupid it is at times.
Also, to any of the VTubers who are like interested in trying out the new VNet DLC, we're using it right now, and it's working a treat. I mean, I absolutely love it. Sure, Tits doesn't work because it doesn't know who to hit, but
Looks like Rocky's frozen.
Am?
Oh, there we
Yeah.
go.
Am I frozen?
You froze for a couple of minutes there.
Just as you
yeah,
were praising this.
Am I frozen? Hello?
No, not anymore.
Oh, not anymore. Okay. I was checking if you put your link and Twitter because I want my followers to watch, but I don't see anything.
Yeah, I did. I tagged you in it.
Oh, you did? Okay, let me see.
Yeah, you retweeted my
I
pin
retweeted
tweet.
the wrong thing. Okay.
Yeah,
Let me
don't
just
worry.
fix this. Undo retweet. And this one has like your Twitter, right?
Yep.
Okay, let me retweet this.
So I have a question for you, being in Japan. 'Cause
Yeah, sure.
I hear a lot of stuff, but I always want to know the opinion of someone who's lived there.
Mm-hmm.
Is it as depressing as a lot of people say it is?
That's a good question.
Because one thing I hear is that a lot of like youth in Japan suffer from like
Mhm.
serious depression, and everything feels like doom and gloom.
I can't speak for Japanese people because I'm not Japanese, but I could speak from a gaijin perspective with someone who's not Japanese who lives here, and I could tell you now, like if you don't speak Japanese, it's gonna be hard, like social wise,
Ah.
because a lot of people don't speak Japanese. Also, if you live in the countryside like I do, a lot of people are older. They're not going to be like your age, so you won't really like hang out with like people your age too much. So
Are they at least
yeah,
nice to foreigners?
yeah.
'Cause
The people, yeah, they're nice. They're nice, but in a very distant kind of way. Like you're not
I
gonna
was gonna
expect
say
like
in a cold sort of way.
bold.
Umbra's having a bit of a schizo moment there, so I'm just gonna
Yeah,
let him go sleep.
like nice, but a cold nice. You know, like
I wouldn't say cold, more like distant. More
It's
like
basically they're more culturally
mhm.
uh,
For
what was it?
example,
It's
as an American, like when you're in America and you see like a stranger passing you by, and it's a happy day, they would say like good morning, hey. In Japan, you don't expect that. That's not gonna happen. Or like someone like dropped something in America, you pick it up. Here you go, Sarah, or whatever. In Japan, don't do that.
It's
Yeah,
it's
you don't. You
oh
don't say
no,
bless you when someone sneezes. Nobody says bless you. So
I
like you just let them sneeze. It's usually just
yeah
quiet most of the time for strangers.
yeah no I
hmm.
If you know them, sure, like you can like hang out and stuff. Like it's gonna be
give
fun. But
me
people keep their distance. Like there's no hugs. There's no like any form of contact, whatever. So people like to like have this social distance even before Rona. So that's why we kind of handled
Yeah,
the
I was
Rona well.
wondering if this was like something that was like just always there culturally, or if this was a result
Yeah,
of this. Like,
yeah.
because at a
Even
certain
before
point,
Rona, it's
I know
social
that
distance.
I know that well before
Mhm.
coronavirus, they had like a constant like etiquette of wearing masks on
Yeah.
the
They
subway.
still
ah
like
there we go
when I
there
came
we go.
when I came over, it was before the Rona, and they were already wearing masks. So because of the flu, and then when
Sorry
the
about
Rona
that.
hit, they already have everyone was ready for the Rona because everyone was already ready for the flu,
Yeah,
which is
I froze for a little bit there, so I just had to fix myself up. And
no problem.
hello there, JD. Pardon me for not seeing you there. How have you been? Oh, what's going on? My music suddenly died. Everything on my computer is just not having it today. What is
Hey,
going
can you
on?
can you link me your Twitch so I could show my followers on my Discord
Oh,
where I
oh,
am?
of course, of course.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
Of course I
Copy.
freeze up again. What is wrong with this stupid thing?
I think I know why. I think it's because there's two models that it has to keep track of at once. Because VTube Studio is very resource intensive. I should know because I was trying to play Pizza Tower the other day on stream, and it kept stuttering regularly until I turned off VTube Studio.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh
Let
yeah,
me
you're
just.
frozen again.
Yeah.
Let it go. Let it
I'm
go.
I'm just
By the way,
going
how
to.
long have you been sitting down for? Because you might have, if you've been sitting down for a long time, you might as well go PNG mode and lie down.
Hold on a second. Everything is just going upended on my computer now.
I think it's because of YouTube Studio.
Okay, I'm going to have to go PNG mode then, cause this.
Okay.
So
And as I said, when was the last time you laid down?
Oh, oh.
hold on
Oh,
a second.
God.
Okay, I'll turn on the group PNG then. There we go. And my PNG.
I think maybe it was just the camera, like it didn't
Eh.
calibrate, so you had to
No,
calibrate the camera.
Everything is fine now. My computer back to running somewhat normal. I tried to clean it out the other day and it's still running like potato. Now, come
Did you
on,
get
man.
compressed air?
No, I just used one of my neighbor's hair
One of your
dryers.
what? I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know too much about electronics, but there's a reason why they have air cans specifically for it.
Oh, hey, I'm a PNG.
Yeah, I had to switch over because my
Okay.
entire computer has decided to just go on the up end on me again.
My PNG is so small.
Let me just put the music back on again. There we go. Alright. Unfortunately, we have to go PNG mode today, and I think it's just that with Vtuber Studio's new DLC.
Also, Felicity, you still haven't answered my question. When's the last time you laid down?
An hour ago.
Go lie down.
I have gone to lie down.
Good. That's a good girl.
As
As you can see, I kind of have to be her father every now and then. To make sure she doesn't injure herself through ergonomic hazards like she's been doing for a very long time.
Oh, it's it's quiet all of a sudden.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Sorry. I got distracted a bit. So, and also sometimes I just have a tendency to space out due to autistic brain issue.
Alright, so would you mind explaining what exactly led you to Japan? You said it was work, but what kind of work, if that's something you could divulge?
Apologize, guys. It's not something I want to divulge at this time.
All right.
Let's just say it's a career choice that I moved over here.
So what would you say is something that you would recommend?
Something to do in Japan?
Yes.
Yeah, some to recommend for or against. Like what is some good advice you can give? Actually, how long have you been there for?
I've been here for around 3 years.
So in that time, like, what are things to avoid? What are things that you would say are absolute must?
Okay, first off, avoid maid cafes. I know you guys are very excited about maid cafes. Let me tell you why. Okay, it's very expensive. First off, I guess if you have the money, that's not a problem. But this second part is the issue. It's very awkward. Okay, the people working there, they're usually high school girls, and they're kind of forced. It's kind of weird. They come over here and then they go moi kyun, and then they go freaking fire their heart lasers in your really really bad omurice, and the food is terrible, and it feels like
Hooters.
Yeah, but they're teenage girls that are kind of feel like they're being held at gunpoint to say moi kyun.
Honestly, maid cafes, I would probably avoid like the plague because of the fact that
Yeah.
because they're just way too cutesy
They're-
for my taste. If I were
Yeah,
if I were to go anywhere, it would be the butler cafes.
My friends who always wanted to go to maid cafes, the moment they've been to one, they're like, oh my god, that's awkward. And they didn't like it. It's too expensive. The food is terrible. And
hello there,
yeah.
Rollo dos Mobo. Thank you very much.
Hey, how you doing, Rally D? So Rally D is like one of my oldest friends. I met her in this really old Flash-based website called Gaia Online.
Oh God, Gaia!
Yes.
I played
yes,
that in high school.
Yeah.
I've never played it, but I know about it because it has it's literally a textbook case of inflation.
Yeah, exactly.
fact
It's a
is-
really bad inflation.
Oh my
But-
god, I was so
but
cringy
Rally
when
D
I
is
had
re-
days.
Rally D is really cool. Shout out to her. She plays like Tomb Raider and a lot of fun stuff. She does like pixel art too. Yeah.
Oh, hello there, totally not Hugh. Thank you very much for the
And
chat.
Hugh's here. Hey Hugh, how you doing?
Oh, thank you very much, Hugh, for becoming a beloved estate guest. I hope you enjoy your time here at the Hayami Estate. I'm not going to go through my usual spiel because this is a Hayami Estate episode, but just make sure to behave yourself because I have quite a few people that know how to punish.
So Hugh is also a VTuber. He's really cool too. He plays a lot of those like castle was it Metroidvania stuff.
Yeah.
Metroidvania games, yeah.
Yeah, he's really good at those.
I'm more into like rhythm games or farming
And
games.
roguelikes. Yeah.
I don't play roguelikes. I don't play anything that could incite my rage.
Well, I played one.
You made me play Split Game. You saw what happened there.
Yeah, but you've at least played one. Plus, Splitgate is totally different. Like, you cannot compare PvP shooters to roguelikes. Because one is just hard and the other is fucking bullshit.
Sorry.
Yeah, she's in
Alfred-
space.
Alfred was getting in my face, so I had to get in his. When you have cats and they don't want to leave you alone while you're working. But apparently, whenever I interact with my cats, it's one of the most adorable things my husbands will ever see. But I'm just like, oh, hey, welcome back. So, from this, what are some of your favorite games to play?
Me? I'm really into Souls-like games, like Dark Souls. But played Bloodborne like from start to finish last time. I like Elden Ring. I'm planning to stream Elden Ring at some point. Yeah, all the Souls-like games. I love those, but like my fans just want me to play Genshin.
I play.
That's all they want.
I played.
Honestly, just don't bother, please.
And they hate it how I treat Genshin like a Souls game. They're like, Rocky, level up. I'm like, no, I won't level up. Leveling up is for the weak. So I just dodge and and like kill bosses really slowly. And they're like, oh, Rocky, you could like do all these like elemental reactions or something.
You know what? Like
all you need is dodging and arrows, and that's all you need. You just need to not get hit.
Yeah,
They beg you to play Genshin, and then they complain when you play Genshin. You can't win with these people. Don't
They're like, oh, you're playing Genshin wrong, Rocky. You're playing it like Dark Souls.
Yeah, because Dark Souls is a good game and Genshin is shit.
Yeah.
I played Bloodborne and just gave up at the werewolf.
Oh no, you should keep playing. It gets good.
Problem is, when she gets stressed, she bleeds.
Oh.
That's why
really?
she doesn't play Splitgate anymore.
Oh.
She bleeds. She can potentially cause a fracture.
Oh,
she,
dang.
Yeah,
That sounds serious.
Yeah, she has like chronic anemia and yeah.
Chronic stress-induced illness as well.
And keep in mind that her
Okay.
life has been very stressful.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
We're hoping to fix that with my move to Canada in a few years.
Yep.
Move to
So
what?
as long as like your telecom companies can stop being pieces of shit, make you pay a debt twice.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's moving to Canada with me.
Oh, nice. Canada sounds good.
Yeah, so basically,
It's very nice.
I'm going to Canada to get married.
Oh, congratulations, guys.
ありがとうございました、ご主人様。I only know like a little bit of Japanese.
All right, thank you.
Far more than me.
Thank you for checking it out, you
Actually,
and Rally.
here's a good gauge of because you're someone who knows what Japanese sounds like fluently.
Mm-hmm.
Felicity,
Yeah.
are you cute?
俺も可愛いじゃない。君の嘘じゃん。
So how do you think that sounded?
Very anime. People
But
here in
it's-
Japan like really find anything anime like cringe. Like if you start talking, if you start talking like kono dioda or something. Yeah, people usually won't talk to you.
I get it. It's
Yeah.
like it's the reference. That's our entire culture. I get
most
it.
people in Japan actually, this is surprising, but most people in Japan don't like anime.
But it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere, but it's more like it.
Gotta get-
If
maybe
you
that's
wear,
exactly
if
why
you
they
walk,
don't like it.
if you walk around in Japan wearing like an anime T-shirt, people will like call you out for being a gaijin. They're like, "Oh, there's the foreigner over there," or even like Japanese text, like just a kanji on your shirt. Oh, that guy's a foreigner, because nobody wears that in Japan. They wear like English stuff on their shirts.
That's
And they wear, like,
interesting.
yeah. So like if you wear something like with kanji in it, you're either like, I don't know, a ramen shop owner or like a gaijin. It's like, oh, there he goes.
Interesting.
Even
So
if you're Asian,
what would you
like,
say?
I'm Asian, guys. So it's gonna be hard to tell me apart from Japanese people. But if I started wearing,
He admits it.
if I start wearing T-shirts like with like Japanese stuff on it, or like, you know, like an anime girl, it's like, oh, there he is. There's the gaijin. Or if you start wearing a kimono in public, that's the thing. Like you go to a touristy spot and start wearing a kimono. There he is, the gaijin. Like a yukata. There he is. Because nobody wears that. No locals wear kimonos. Like nobody owns
Instead, they
kimonos
wear like
unless you're like a
Western
grandma.
stuff.
Yeah, they just
That's
wear like
weird.
yeah, they just wear like they just wear like modern regular people stuff. They don't go around wearing yukatas or
But like
or like
you
anime
pointed
merch.
out specifically, they wear stuff with like English on it.
Yeah. They wear like English text. Sometimes the text
Like
like
what?
don't make
Is
any
there, like-
sense.
Yeah.
Like let me find an
Really?
example of one. Yeah, some of them like they don't make sense. English text shirt, English text, Japanese shirt. Yeah, some of them they like really don't like. They'll say make future so round, or like the pig is full of many cats, or whatever.
What?
Like yeah.
Like,
Because they don't understand what they mean. They just like the English letters. They think
Oh
it's
my
hip and
God.
cool. Yes.
oh
So
my.
it's like an American wearing something with a kanji on it, but like they don't know
So
what it means.
it's literally like the equivalent of like having like a Chinese tattoo. that
Yeah,
says,
exactly.
Oh my
Exactly. You gotta understand, most Japanese peoples are Ameriboos. It's like the opposite of America. Like they like guns. They have airsoft is very popular over here.
god. Okay, to be fair, everyone likes guns. Well,
Yeah,
except
and
for
they
Felicity.
they
but
love They love burgers. Yeah, there's
Here's the
a lot of
funny thing.
And
people
again,
here.
who
Are
wouldn't like burgers?
a lot of people here are Marabous. A lot of people like Marvel movies. The people wear Marvel shirts.
Okay,
Yeah.
now that's where I can consider it a marabou.
Yeah, a Marabou. Like if you notice, like a lot of the famous Japanese people, you know,
Oh!
like I like what's his face? The guy who makes
Z, thank you very much for becoming a beloved estate.
Hey, Zed's here. How you doing, Zed?
I hope you enjoy your time here at the Hayami Estate.
Zed's awesome, guys. Uh, like the guy who made Metal Gear. What's his name?
Oh yeah,
Kojima. Yeah, Kojima.
Kojima.
Kojima's a big Marabou. Like he's in California right now.
Absolutely. Have you seen the Metal Gear games?
Like
The thing is that
is-
us Asians are trying to be white. You guys are trying to be Asian. So
Exactly. It's called
so
the grass.
funny.
It's called the grass seems greener on the other side. It's called people want something different and want to be like they want to
it's more
stand
exotic.
out and be self-proclaimed free.
Also,
thinkers.
beauty standards. A lot of like the guys, like blonde hair, blue-eyed people. They find it exotic. You know, they're like, whoa, like.
Okay, you know what there needs to be? There needs to be a straight-up cultural exchange program. Like on a massive scale, like an
Like
immigration program between like
everyone goes.
like a lot of European and Western countries and Japan.
Yeah,
Because
that sounds like a
clearly-
good idea. You
Like,
know, there's this
keep
thing. There's
Keep
this
in
thing
mind
called,
as well. Sorry.
Okay. There's this thing called Paris syndrome, where I don't know if you've heard of this, but
I've heard of it.
like apparently like the Japanese like think Paris is this magical place, like
I mean,
you know,
they
like
do
the
have a thing for
baguette
French
and-
maids.
Yeah.
then
They think
Oh.
they think Paris is this whole magical place. Just I guess it's just like how Americans see like Japan, but like when they finally. Yeah, and they finally go to Paris. They got this immense culture shock, and it's not like what they expect, and they go through like
I think I
like this
might know why
crazy
that
culture
is.
shock.
I think I might know why that is. Question: How well do you understand Japanese history?
Pretty well, I think. Like,
Do you know what happened like after World War II?
yeah,
'Cause that's the part most people like forget
Yeah,
about because
America
are more interesting.
America just like funneled money over to Japan because like they don't want them to be Soviet.
Not just money. They did what was essentially like counter censorship. Actually,
Japan went.
Actually, this is something I think you should watch. It's a movie called No Regrets for Our Youth. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's a Japanese film, and it was made in 1946. And, like, according to the director, this movie could not be made a year ago. It's really interesting because the way the censorship worked was everything had to toe the narrative of the nation, the Japanese people as a whole. So everything had to be, like, nationalistic. You couldn't have stories about individuals. So No Regrets for Our Youth is like, it's basically the story of a woman from the city who has to move to the country, like a young woman in a man's world, and her struggles, and it's like a very personal story, and it's very innocent too, but because it didn't toe the narrative, like it would have been banned. Like a scene of picking flowers in a field would have been censored. So what happened was, what America did was they did counter censorship, where they start to import a lot of American movies, and one of the stipulations was there's got to be romance, there's got to be kissing. So I have to wonder, like, especially like with those old school movies where like Paris was considered a very romantic place, you know? I think that might be where it came from.
Yeah. You gotta understand, like, after the war, like, Japan got really Americanized. like all this jazz music got important. They got so into jazz.
Yeah.
Like right
I
now,
love Japanese jazz, by the way. Japanese jazz is fun.
Japanese jazz is amazing. It influenced city pop music, and like in the 80s, it was called the miracle, because Japan, the world thought Japan would take over the world financially because they were like the China back then, and then you know what happened, the bubble burst, and we're here.
And that's pretty much happening in China right
most
now.
of the cool stuff we know about Japan was Japan from the 80s, like in the 80s and 90s. Those were the Japan times, you know.
That was peak Japan.
Mhm.
Like that
Peak
was Stardust
Japan.
Crusaders.
Yeah. So that was when Japan was like booming super well, like financially. They got like Sony making all these TVs, they got all these electronics being exported all over, and then something happened. The bubble burst, and
I'm guessing
Japan,
you don't know too much about what the economic situation.
Japan is not in a good spot financially right now. Let me tell you that.
I mean, yeah, but like,
yeah,
you keep talking about the bubble. But was it like a housing bubble? What was it?
not sure, but yeah, the bubble burst, and I guess it's the whole recession thing from that spread all over, right?
Thanks, America.
They're not in a good spot right now. Also, like technology wise, they're not caught up. They're also like not caught up in English, which is like kind of essential for like global business. Not a lot of people. In
Actually,
Japan
I was
can speak
watching
English.
like a thing on YouTube recently. It was about Japanese defense, but I think it still applies, which is there's two modes for Japan's defense industry. Either it never changes for hundreds of years, or it immediately catches up in a very short period of time. And I feel like that could apply to like economics and technology too.
Right.
Like I have a feeling that in the next 10 years we're going to see an explosive change again.
I feel like if Japan like kind of improves like English and like global trade and all that, I think they're gonna be back at their peak.
I think so too.
But the COVID hit them very hard. Not gonna lie. The yen is like kind of worthless right now. So that's good news if you want to go here. Like if you bring dollars, that's gonna be a lot more in yen.
That's kind of good though, because like that means outsourcing is cheaper, which actually gives them an advantage. It's the same reason why Canadians here don't like our dollar cheap, or they don't like our dollar strong, because that means that Americans like outsource to places like Mexico or something.
All right.
Anyways, back to you in particular. What inspired your design? Because there's always like a story behind someone's model.
Oh, I thought it looked cool.
So obviously the whole look is inspired by Japan's superhero culture, right?
Oh yeah, no, this is a recent one. Like I got like a different. This isn't my default one.
Would you like to share some of your different models then?
Right now we're in PNG mode. So
we're in PNG mode.
But
like I could just talk
you could
about
at least. Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, my default one is embarrassingly kind of like super inspired by Cyberpunk Edge Runners. It's like very techwear, very futuristic, but it kind of looks kind of too young. So I went through this phase where like I've just been trying like suits. Like there was like a Valentine's version where I like wore like a Valentine's date thing. And then I kind of recycled that and made like a salaryman kind of gig, like a Japanese salaryman.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then now
so you don't really have a like strict like concept. It's very fluid.
My character is a Raijin. I'm a thunder god. But he just wears like different costumes, I guess. So
he's a god that cosplays.
I guess. Yeah. So and this arc, I'm going through a hero arc, and I'm wearing like a Kamen Rider inspired thing.
Oh yeah,
Um,
like as I mentioned earlier, Super Sentai sort of thing.
yeah, like a tokusatsu thing. Yeah.
Oh my god. That makes me think though.
hmm
Would you happen to know Ultraman?
Yeah, I know Ultraman.
Fuck yes!
You love Ultraman? I'm not like a super fan of Ultraman, but I know of him. Like the giant
Ultraman
guy who
was-
fights monsters.
Ultraman was my childhood.
Oh, nice. My childhood was as like Super Sentai, like Power Rangers.
Yeah,
And
so
some Kamen Rider.
Everyone else was
I was not allowed to watch Power Rangers, not because
you
of
weren't?
anything, not because of anything parental, but because my brother would like threaten to run away from home because
Oh gosh.
he was a jackass older brother who didn't let me watch fucking Power Rangers.
Yeah. You guys had this thing when you were a kid, and you kind of just skip all the teen drama stuff and go straight to the robot battles. And then now that I'm an adult, I'm an adult, and I watch like Super Sentai stuff. I'm like, I just watch the teen drama and skip the robot battles. I'm like, okay, the robot battle's about to start. I'm gonna just skip this.
You either die SpongeBob or live long enough to become Squidward.
I'm old, guys.
Actually, that's something else completely unrelated. But you talk about how Japan is full of Ameriboos. What does this apply to American cartoons as well?
Oh, hey, Freya. Freya's here. Hey, remember the person that inspired me to be a VTuber? There she is. Sorry, what was the question again? I was
You talked about how a lot of Japanese people are, as you call them, Ameriboos.
Yes.
So does that entail when it comes to American cartoons? What would you say the Ameriboo anime scene is?
So you gotta understand, in Japan, all animated things are anime. All of them. So in America,
I mean specifically foreign things in it.
No, but it goes through, it goes into this because kids, when you ask kids what's your favorite anime, some of them might say SpongeBob.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, anime is literally short for animation.
Yeah. So in Japan, in America, this is a big culture shock for me because as an American weeb, we'll always have fights whether Avatar: The Last Airbender is an anime or not, and it gets really freaking heated, right? In Japan, it doesn't matter too much because everything animated is anime, and so people can have they view SpongeBob the same as they view Sailor Moon almost, right?
That's interesting,
and most people prefer SpongeBob actually. People are big into comedy here.
Anything
people are big into comedy here
besides SpongeBob. What about, I don't know, Foster's Home or Adventure Time?
Yeah. There a lot of kids are into that.
Pardon me.
You also got to understand that in Japan they don't show anime on TV 24/7. So if you come over here expect there's gonna be anime on TV all the time, it's just news. It's just boring food stuff, and kids don't really have
Japanese game shows where people are naked.
No, you expect that. I expected that. Not a lot of that actually. Not a lot of crazy game shows. Most of Japanese TV is just boring, travel stuff. The people in it's a show that shows food with a little box with an old man saying, "Oh, umai desu ne. Oh, oishii, oishii." And it's the same thing over and over. So I don't watch it. It's terrible. I think Abroad in Japan put it there's a YouTuber called Abroad in Japan, and
I know
he did his complaint about Japanese television, where it's it's all the same, and I agree because I've watched Japanese television. It's usually terrible, boring
as fuck.
And we expect like, oh, Japanese commercials, they're gonna save it. They're gonna be silly as heck. And then you see it's like, oh, insurance. Oh.
No Nissan commercials.
Yeah, it's not as crazy as the YouTube videos cherry pick the crazy stuff. They're like, oh, this is the crazy. You'll see the crazy stuff like maybe once in a while, but it's not all that. Usually it's normal stuff.
Yeah.
I guess this is how Japan views America as well in the Western countries. They cherry pick the crazy American stuff and like, oh, America's so cool, you know.
The one thing that I found,
Photo man, basically.
The ads that I will always find the best are the ones that feature Arnold Schwarzenegger advertising ramen.
Yeah,
what would you say is like one experience in Japan you have to recommend? Because honestly, you've been shitting on this country a lot in stream.
Speaking of shitting, guys, the bidets. Bidets are awesome. Yes.
Is that one area where you're definitely proficiently advanced?
Yes. Everything's old school and terrible, but their toilets are high tech and heated seats. Heated seats, guys. I don't think I'll come back to regular toilets again. When I go back to America, I'll be like, oh, I missed the Japanese toilets. They speak to you. So when I said, oh, Japan isn't all that robotic, it's not futuristic, it's not crazy as you think.
Except for the toilets.
Except for the toilets. The toilets are like from a whole nother age. It's cyberpunk toilet, guys.
That's now I'm really fascinated because that means that like there's got to be some sort of really deep cultural incentive to focus on toilets.
Dude, imagine you're walking out in the snow and it's all cold and you go into a convenience store and you sit down and you feel the warmth. warm your body. It's crazy. And the water that hits your tush also like perfect temperature, and it hits at the perfect spot so it doesn't hit anywhere else.
I mean,
it's crazy. It's crazy, guys.
Like you're talking to a Canadian here. You're talking to a Canadian here, so it doesn't sound that overwhelming to me.
Oh, you got bidets in Canada?
No, but it's just we don't care about the cold.
You don't care about the cold. But if you do have bidets, right? Like you'll see the value of it.
Thailand has something similar. We have little mini shower nozzles next to the toilet to wash our asses before we wipe. But in Japan, that thing comes like installed in the toilet, like dude, you press a button and this nozzle like a robot like just senses where your tush is, and it goes. And it's very gentle. You can adjust the water pressure, guys. You could adjust the water pressure. And then it will just tell you sweet nothings as it gives you the most pleasurable experience.
Dude, I'm not kidding. Some of them they play like freaking nature music while you do your business. They'll have like trees.
You're making me think of something really weird, and that is what statistic because of bidets. What statistic of Japanese people prefer anal?
Oh, that went in a completely different direction. I don't know how to answer that, guys.
I don't know. It's just a weird thing that came to my mind. But let's move on to a less awkward topic.
Don't worry.
How long?
Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that my home is a Vtuber home. So if you want to be lewd, fine. But only if you say that we're going too far, we'll stop.
I respect that. I actually avoid interacting to Vtubers too much. Not gonna lie, because I'm not like the type of person that says, "Oh, no kids allowed in my stream." You know, I'm very like family friendly, and I try to be family friendly. I understand. And it's an art stream. I kind of want to inspire people to draw and stuff. So it's it's the family friendly stuff.
I'm joking.
But I like to keep it family friendly on my streams. Like when I have the urge to cuss, I just say like the dumb versions of like, oh, fudge or something. You know. Yeah, I want to have that opportunity to inspire even younger kids to draw.
It's always
So-
And
fun
also-
to inspire people.
Yeah. And also, like my pet peeve, and a lot of I don't think you do this, but a lot of YouTubers, they use a lot of AI art, and I'm not a big fan of that. And they just like spam my freaking feed with all these AI stuff where the fingers are all twisted, and I'm like, oh, they just like they spam my feed with a whole bunch of these AI stuff. And it's a pet peeve of mine, so that's why I try
I
not to
don't-
interact with.
I don't
What?
really use AI art. I do find art that
Mhm.
that
Yeah,
um,
I've seen your posts, and I respect you for posting like actual artist stuff, and I do respect that. Thank you for that, because
I try to.
some
I
of these
try-
YouTubers.
Oh my god, Rocco! Again! Oh my god, Rocco! He's just given five subs to five
thank
random
you.
viewers yet again.
That's good. Yeah.
He does this all the time.
Nice. Thank you, Rocco.
He's such a sweetheart.
Yeah. So yeah,
So-
like the AI thing is a big deterrent for me from interacting with a lot of these.
I've had this
YouTubers.
conversation with people before, like
Mhm.
where I would. It's very difficult, but the thing is that AI art isn't going to stop.
Yeah, I understand that. I do.
And
I know that
if-
we can't
and
turn
I've-
back time.
Mm,
But-
and I know for a fact that like there is a very complicated technique to it as well. Like
Mhm.
it might
Yeah,
sound
but-
crazy, but there is
But-
a level of skill required.
Right. But these YouTubers, they post a ton. Like you'll see like 5 or something posts in like a few minutes of just AI art. It's just like a ton of spam, and like they usually don't censor it too. They're like, oh, look at me. What do you want for dinner? Me. I'm like, oh, this is weird and awkward, and they're just like a bunch of AI art. Like some of the faces don't even look the same because it's AI art.
I know
They just
that,
kind of like spam it.
I know that people don't want to see stream mums lewds all the time, so I always make sure to censor it first.
hmm
If
I respect the YouTubers who like censor it. Like some of them they don't. They like the thing on Twitter where you could click. Hold
Yeah.
on, yeah. So where you click the censorship and it takes it off. I prefer those because like some of them they just like full blown. Like well, I'm just scrolling down Twitter. I'm like, oh gosh, and.
Very pure of you, I see.
Yeah. Like I
Very say
you
so.
know, I don't want to scroll down Twitter and just like, oh, random big log over here. Like, funny story. I've interacted with this VTuber who I didn't know was a LewDtuber, and we just talked about Yu-Gi-Oh things. I'm like, oh, okay, Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, we talked about the meta and all that, and then suddenly, like a few minutes later, I just see his log on my freaking Twitter. I'm like, oh gosh, like it's not censored. There's no anything on it. Like you don't have the gate where you have to click it to see it. No, it's just a full blown penis. From the Yu-Gi-Oh dude.
Feel free to just use whatever words here. I don't mind if you
Mhm.
swear. As I always think, kids learn worse from their parents, and I'm a parent, so I would know.
Right. Yeah.
So that aside, I was also curious about like how long have you been doing this?
VTubing?
Yeah.
I'd say around like 5 months ish.
Oh
Mm.
wow.
Wait, I
Baby.
started. Wait. I started. I think November of this year.
Aw, little Raigeki's a little baby tuber.
Yeah.
And in that time, like I guess you don't regret the decision.
No, I don't regret the decision. I love my fans. I've met a ton of like really good friends VTubing.
So have I. I met some very good BFS. I met my girlfriend.
Yeah, that's good. See, it brings people together, and there are like stories of like people saying, "Oh, I inspired them to draw" and all that, and that really warms my heart. You know.
Recently, I got a message from someone saying that I inspired them to start a channel.
Yeah, and that's good.
Yeah, those are definitely the moments. Actually, one thing. So obviously, you probably have to speak at least basic Japanese, right?
Yeah.
So,
I speak some.
Have you ever considered like joining a talent agency? Because being able to speak Japanese is a very like useful thing if you want to join something like say Hololive. Or specifically Holo Stars, because that's the male branch.
Yeah. But I don't speak Japanese that well. Like when you're in high school and you're learning Japanese or like college, if you chose that as like your language, and you go to Japan, you'll find out that most of that is basically useless. Like I'm not gonna say like I'm a noob at Japanese. Like I could kind of like live here basically, but you only like know a shallow portion of the English language, so you can't really conduct business or anything. You maybe you could say like "otsukaresama deshita" or like I don't know "konnichiwa" or something like that.
I mean, clearly you know enough to get around, though. You've been here for 3 years.
Yeah, just to get around. But you gotta understand, there's like different layers of Japanese. There's business Japanese. There's like casual Japanese. There's professional. There's different layers that with different words.
Would you say it's like different dialects?
No. It's in Japanese, like they barely have any bad words, but the way the language works is there's many levels to it, so that if you say a level that's inappropriate to the situation, it's almost like saying a bad word. Like if you say like you're eating with your boss and instead of oishi or something you say umai, like you're the guy from freaking Demon Slayer, that's almost like a bad word, right? Or like randomly,
oh, man.
Like
being autistic in Japan must be hell.
Yeah, like I was saying in my other stream, like I told people like, you know, Baka Mitai, like the song from Yakuza, like you can't just say Baka Mitai like out of context, because that's like saying that looks stupid. That it literally means looks stupid. So if you're saying that next to like your boss or something, Baka Mitai, he could assume that you mean him. So you're like, oh, you're calling me stupid?
That's
Like,
that's why whenever someone pisses me off, I usually use bakayaro.
Yeah. So Baka Yaro is like an even lower version of Baka. So like if you say Baka Yaro in front of someone, that usually will start a fight. You know, this is Yankee. Yeah, this is Yankee language. This is like thug language. So you should avoid saying Baka Yaro in Japan, please. No, they'll probably give you the gaijin card. They'll say, "Oh, it's a foreigner. Don't care about them." But like if a Japanese person says that to a Japanese person, that usually starts a fight. So
also,
I would avoid.
Yeah. Zeni Zen Geki for following.
Hey,
your time.
hey, how you doing,
Hayami
Zenos?
Estate.
That's my friend Zenos. He changed his name to match my name, so it kind of sounds like Rocky, right?
I look at Zeni Zen and I'm like, does that mean that he's a video game character because Zeni is a form of currency in a lot of games?
Oh no, his original name was Zenos, and then he just changed it to Zeni because my name was Rocky.
Hello, Frozen. Welcome back.
Hey, I know Frozen. He's like the dinosaur guy, right?
Look, Frozen! He's a dragon.
Is he like the white dinosaur guy?
He's a dragon.
I know him.
He's a furry lizard.
Oh yeah.
A scaly.
A scale, yeah. I've seen the streams a few times.
Everyone's all like just saying what like. Everyone's all like wondering, is Frozen a circle?
You cut out there for a very long time.
Guys. I'm gonna say a hot take. I think dinosaurs look cooler with feathers.
Yes, they do.
They do. Like, I can't look at dinosaurs with scales now. They just look bald. Like, I've seen art when dinosaurs have feathers. I'm like, that looks pretty rad.
It looks like they have freaking war paint on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. They're more colorful too, and they look more threatening in some ways. You know,
they got that sexy plumage.
The birds are dinosaurs. Did you know that? Dinosaurs are still here.
Okay, so according to
she lives in Australia. She lives in the place where cassowaries come from.
Oh yeah, the freaking emu war. I heard about that. We're like the freaking
where
Australian
Australia
army
lost a war to birds.
They didn't.
We lost.
They didn't.
We did.
No, you didn't.
You fought a war against dinosaurs, basically.
Grim, I know my Australian history, and it said that we failed in keeping the emus out.
With guns.
With guns.
I mean,
it's
but
like,
you've managed to succeed eventually with chicken wire and putting bounties on their heads and letting farmers deal with it.
Emus are kind of scary, guys. They got the sharp claws, and they're pretty much raptors.
No, cassowaries are terrifying.
Cassowaries are even worse. My dad almost lost a nipple to one of them.
Yeah, cassowaries have been known to seriously injure and even kill people. Like, they are aggressive, territorial, and they're huge. They look like dinosaurs.
They are the same
they got like
size
a huge dorsal bone thing.
They're kind of cool. Guys, I really like dinosaurs, guys. Not gonna lie.
The fun thing is that cassowaries are the same height as the average American male.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
that's
those
pretty
things,
dope, guys.
and
that explains why they're so angry, because they're all manlets.
And the fact of the matter is that with cassowaries, they never give up. They never give the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you say they have like a Wolverine mentality?
Basically, you get in their territory and you're fucked. Like I said before, my father almost lost a nipple to one of them.
They gave up flight for a reason. You know, fight or flight? They don't fly. They just fight.
Oh yeah. Essentially, don't go near a male, because those things are fuckers. And don't go near a female after she's had her chicks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, don't mess with a mother.
Even though I mess with one constantly.
Giant birds are cool, guys.
I mean, I don't know why you want to stick your dick in crazy, but that's a different story, Grim.
Because you're fun. You're unbelievably fun, and yet you're somehow one of the most pure and innocent people I know.
I don't understand that.
Simply put, you're just too cute.
I
wish my PNG had emotions, because my guy is smiling right now, but my PNG has like the same emotion. So
it's basically.
Yeah, exactly, Zenny. She is cute.
Oh yeah. Avoid ore. Ore. Also, most people don't even say watashi or ore. They just say kawaii janai, because it's implied that you're talking about yourself. And ore is kind of like
that is something language. I forgot about Japanese, that like they don't have pronouns,
subject markers. Yeah, they don't have pronouns either, but they also don't like they tend to like imply the subject. So when you say
that's
like you don't need to say ore, you could just say kawaii janai yo or something. Yeah, because they omit the subject usually. It's just implied. And ore is actually like really like gangstery language. So you shouldn't use ore unless you want to appear like a cringe weep. Like nobody says it. Like if you're a gaijin, they'll understand. They're like, oh, okay, she's trying to be anime, But if you're like more like a Japanese or like in a work environment and you say ore, like your boss like what?
I just said,
What did I do to you? Why are you talking like that?
I usually just tend to use ore because whenever I talk to my Japanese friends, it confuses the fuck out of them.
Yeah. Also, it's more of a male thing. Like when people say ore, usually guys. So if like a woman says it, like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Why are you saying?
I mean, she is a tomboy.
Yeah.
So you're actually reminding me of something when, like, with your talk about the what'd you call it? The
dinosaurs?
No, like
the
foreigner card.
Oh, the foreigner, the gaijin card, the gaijin.
Gaijin,
yes.
Gaijin.
So if you're a gaijin in Japan, people kind of give you leeway to like do kind of whatever because it's a gaijin. They don't understand. So you have a gaijin card.
You're touching on something that is quite interesting, which I only know of through a very tiny peephole, and that is like, and this is gonna sound kind of blunt, but Japanese racism. And keep in mind that not all of it is particularly offensive, but it's still something you would consider very ignorant.
Yes, there is racism in Japan. There's actually quite a lot. But
I remember a thread on Reddit asking about like stuff like this, and someone said like
no foreigners or something.
Yeah, and someone said that their review of America is, oh yeah, you always need guns to defend yourself against black people. It's like, what?
Yeah, so in Japan, there is a lot of racism. We could call it racism, but it's different from what you would expect in America. It's not because of like, it's not because of like historical like grievances, where it's like because slavery and all that, and like this cultural thing. It's more
it's in Korea and China and Vietnam and places like that.
Yeah, but it's more like it coming from ignorance than anything else. Like they don't really like, like
it's like how in Thailand we call our foreigners farang, and whenever we see a farang, we're just like, oh, it's just a farang. They're stupid. Let them do what they will.
Usually it's not coming from an area of hate. It's more like coming from an area of ignorance.
Just ignorance.
Yeah. So they're not being hostile when they're like, oh, you're a gaijin. It's more like you're different, and we are different. It's true that we're not ever like going to like fit in 100% into Japanese culture. Even if you try, even if you like master the language 100%, culturally we're still going to be outsiders.
So it's very systematic, is what you mean?
Yeah. It's no. I don't mean like systematic racism where like everyone's like racist.
It's not
usually
that.
People are not hostile towards foreigners.
It doesn't have to involve hostility to be systematic. Yeah. But the fact that you say it's like no matter how hard you try, like that's saying the system, no matter how hard you try, the system is against you. The society is against you.
No. I didn't mean the system's against you. It's more like you're just different. You're outside of the system.
Whenever a foreigner tries to talk about a culture like they know everything, it's just they're just being blissfully ignorant. Let them do what they can.
Let me tell you about your country.
Yeah. So
Sergeant Bar is saying, "Let me tell you about your country."
Let me tell you about our country. What?
It's a joke. Yeah. It's a joke on the internet where like, especially where like Europeans would just post this meme, and it's like that scene from The Shining with the axe, but on the other side of the door, it's an American saying, "Let me tell you about your country."
Yep.
And you mentioned the whole grievances thing with China and Korea and stuff. Most people don't really care about history, like especially young people. Like
in Japan.
In Japan,
That's pretty sad.
K-pop's like super popular in Japan.
I
Like,
will say though, that is good. That's progress, but
Mhm.
like a part of the problem is just like how distant or cold it can feel. Like, so are you
Right.
gonna like properly apologize? Obviously, it's gonna end at some point. Like,
Yeah.
the grievances will
yeah,
die with the people who have them.
most Japanese people don't see themselves as the Japanese from that era. They see themselves as something completely different. Like they see it like, oh, it wasn't our fault because we weren't there. Like it's not us. It's the grandparents, that did all that. So it's a whole thing where
Anyone
they're like,
remember
it's not us.
that one white man that was a master of high-toric Japanese wind instruments, and a lot of people cried out cultural appropriation?
Oh yeah, from the game show, right? The Ghost of Tsushima guy.
I have no idea. Tsuki is the one that brought this up.
I think, like, if you look at it from a Japanese perspective, most Japanese people don't really care. I think the whole cultural appropriation thing is kind of like a Western problem. Like they think that they're playing the flute. Oh, they must be like they're making a mockery of our culture. The Japanese usually, from what I understand, like they see it as like, oh, you like our culture, like you're sharing the way.
Like take it from a country that's take it from one of like the satellite states of the world, that like one of the backwater countries of the West. Whenever we see someone like dressed like a Mountie, it's like, fuck yeah!
Yeah. It's like that.
Whenever we see someone like go nuts over maple syrup, it's like, yes, please accept our culture. Please give us recognition. Please give us attention.
From my experience, that is the case.
Yeah, a lot of the time we don't really care that much. Mimicry is one of the most sincerest forms of flattery, after all.
Exactly.
A lot of Americans, they get so angry when people like wear kimonos or like try to be weird.
Have you ever heard the phrase Latinx?
Latinx?
No.
Okay, so let me tell you about best way I know to piss off my Latino friends is to refer to them not as Latino, not as Latina, but call them Latinx, and they will get so pissed.
Yeah.
And it's that same thing of like people deciding what is offensive to your culture without your approval, sort of thing.
Most people in Japan actually love sharing their culture. Like, I've practiced Kyudo for like almost 2 years, like the archery. Japanese archery, and my sensei just teaches me for free. I never pay him. He's just this old man, and he just like shows me the way to set up the bow and like shoot the bow, and he just does it for free.
And are you the only one he does this with?
Yeah. And he just enjoys teaching Kyudo. And I'm like, if this was America, you would ask for like some sort of compensation. I tried offering money, like, but he's like, no. It's just like teaching me for free. Like, whoa,
pretty big.
Yeah, he's really cool. He's like my Mr. Miyagi, but for Kyudo. He's really cool, and he like does swordsmanship and stuff too.
So wait,
and he just like he loves sharing it. Like,
if he's your Mr. Miyagi, if he's your Mr. Miyagi, does that mean you pay him with chores?
No.
Like increase your technique.
No. Oh no.
Yeah.
Grim, you just
pay
pissed off Suki. You just pissed off Suki.
Oh, with Latinx. Exactly, it pisses people off.
Yeah. I don't pay him anything. He's just really nice. He also likes sharing Japanese culture. Like he brings his katana and he just does like iaido. he made me wear like a yukata. No, not a yukata, like a traditional, like almost kimono looking stuff.
Was Grim being offensive again?
Hey, I was doing an example of what is offensive to people. I wasn't saying it myself, although I have said it on occasion just to piss off my friends.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, essentially the whole cultural appropriation thing is just white people trying to be offended for us, because that's the reason for them to be pissed off. When
I guess it depends on the culture. Like, I'd say cultural appropriation like applies to like when it's like Native Americans, you know, like it just depends. But like Japan, like usually doesn't care.
That's part of the problem. Is I feel like if I were to like explain, I feel like it's sort of like an ego thing where like you need to have a big enough ego so that you can leave it behind, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, because
as someone who's taken courses in indigenous people, the problem is that they still are trying to find that sense of belonging because we've tried to take it away from them for like 150 years at least.
And I guess it depends on context, right?
Yeah, it's like a sort of like a confidence thing. It's like they're not confident enough with their own identity to allow other people to view it.
Because remember, like the way we use the Native American image, it's kind of like caricature, right? Like we put the Native American on the football teams and all that.
Yeah. Like the cigar shop Indian.
Yeah. It's very much like a caricature thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So it just depends on how we like take it. I guess Japanese people will be mad too if like you still use, you know, the buck teeth and the glasses and all that. That would piss them off. But like if you wear a kimono, that doesn't make them angry, right? It just depends on how you do it.
I think it is primarily, and this is just my very limited perspective, I think it's primarily an issue of like trying to establish a like way of self-determinism first.
Yeah. And also, it's also ignorant to say that all Native Americans are the same. They all wear the same headdresses, the same
Absolutely
stuff.
Absolutely not. They are...
remember that there's different tribes, there's different cultures there.
There's different nations. There's different
just kind of piled together. Like let's say like when the Japanese example, like when you take Japanese culture and like do the 1920s anything is Asian thing, where like you kind of mix it with China, they're like, okay, that's not good. We're not Chinese. You're not taking the right things from our culture. You're kind of twisting it into something different. So absolutely. I would say they'd get angry about that. But like just wearing kimonos and like doing weeb things, they usually don't get angry. They actually kind of like it. That you're exploring their culture, you know.
Yeah, and it gives them like, I guess it gives them pride in their soft power.
Yeah.
So this is supposed to be about. You know what's funny? It's supposed to be about you. We're just talking.
Yeah,
about
well,
Japan.
I live in Japan, so a lot of people like to ask questions about Japan.
And I did bring this up.
It's kind of interesting how many old ladies are like into Gundam. They're like building Gundam models.
Okay, it's funny. That's not too surprising. Although I have to say, Gundam in particular,
it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool, actually. I wish American old ladies like just like are into Gundam.
Like,
you know,
I feel like Gundam is like, especially because of like how expansive the universe is and how many different suits there are, and like just. And they all have their like specific. Not really, but I have seen Unicorn and nothing else. But I do know enough to know that there's like different models with like their own like nomenclature, and that makes me think of like this like appeals to the same crowd that like play BattleTech or World of Tanks or like put together like model planes.
The weird part about this is those old ladies, they don't know what these Gundams are or what shows they're from. They're just like making them.
Yeah, like that's why
they're like showing me the pictures of the newest conquest that they've conquered.
See,
it's like,
that
makes Gundam.
that makes sense to me when you consider it, because like it's arts and crafts basically.
Yeah.
Like what do old ladies like to do? Arts and crafts.
They find it relaxing, and they like proudly showing their new Gundams to me.
So do they paint these things from scratch?
No. They just get the kits. But
But
like
do they paint them?
no, the one I know doesn't. But I'm sure like there's also yeah.
Because I had to imagine what an old Japanese grandma would paint a Gundam. Like, would it have like a floral print on it?
Oh no, they don't paint it on their own. They just buy like the already like painted ones. But and I kind of smile whenever like she shows me the newest Gundam that she makes. It's like, oh, that's really
so
cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, she just shows me on the phone. It's like, oh, this is the newest one. It's like, wow, I don't know that one. What Gundam is that? It's just like Wakarana. I don't know. I don't know either. But she just
Wakaranai.
like Shiranai. Yeah. Okay.
So, I'm trying to think of something else.
I may be very ignorant here, but I always thought that like ahoya was like another way of calling someone stupid. So.
Oh yeah. Don't say aho. That's a. I remember I said there's no technically no bad words in Japan, but context kind of turns it into a bad word.
Now that I think about it, that's kind of with English. Like, there's a context for swearing.
Yeah, I mean, like, dog isn't a bad word, but like when you call someone you dog,
exactly,
like,
exactly, and like fuck in the right context makes a lot of sense.
If
like,
you say
like the B word isn't a bad word, but if you call someone the B word in out of context, then it's fighting.
Like
words,
if you call someone a wanko or something, that's going to start a fight.
Yeah. A funny thing in Japan, wanko means like a little bowl of noodles.
I thought wanko was like the dog, the onomatopoeia for dog.
Oh yeah, dog said one, and instead of bark, wan.
So yeah, I always thought wanko was like an insult of some sort.
Yeah. Oh, and in Britain, right? Like British. You wanker. I'm Bakura. Draw your pathetic card, wanker.
You fucking knob jockey.
God, you guys are trying to bring all sorts of different Western associations.
I'm not gay. I'm just British. I'm not British. I'm just gay.
How would you say like? I hate that we keep going back to Japan because I want to ask you questions, but this is something that is
interesting part about me.
Honestly, it is. I'm sorry to say, but it is. But like, how is Japan progressing in terms of like LGBTQ stuff? Because I know there is a certain degree of pushback.
It's getting there, but it's not there quite yet.
And I know that like Japan was before like Western influence. Japan was actually kind of gay.
Yeah, like in the Edo period and stuff. There's like you can rent like a boy or something.
I mean, look at Sailor Moon. They had LGBT characters in that show, and then they tried to port it over to the US. And like,
yeah, that was weird.
That's
but
too
like
gay.
the thing you mentioned about like before Westernization, like the thing you mentioned about that Edo period stuff. Like, it's usually not, like, romantic. It's usually, like, a fetishization, Like, they kind of, like, treat, like, the young boys as, like, girls and ladies and stuff. It's kind of like a different flavor, It's not like a, You
make it sound more romance. Like brands rather than gay.
It's kind of like that.
It's not normalized in Japan.
Yeah, so... And then, like, what's it called? The Meiji period happened. It got westernized, and like, that,
So
took that away. One
fascinating thing I heard about the Meiji Restoration was
I'm not a big history fan, so I'm probably not like.
There was there's an attempt to adopt the Latin alphabet, which
I wouldn't know, but.
That would have been huge. That would have changed history, I feel.
It would be, yeah. Because
like
kanji is like hard as heck. There's some Japanese people who struggle with kanji. like native.
Well,
speakers.
not even just that, but like, how well do you know Indonesia?
Not too much.
So
Like, they have a Latin alphabet. I know that.
they do, and pretty much every Indonesian person I know, be it a big VTuber like Hollow En, not
Yeah,
En,
no
Hollow
English.
In, or like just
Yeah,
like the original mom and papa who made my model,
Uh-huh.
they speak English, and
Yeah,
they
they
speak
speak
it
English,
pretty
yeah.
damn well. There's an accent there, but it's still very good.
Yeah, but
And-
it's not just the Roman language. I mean, Korea also speaks a lot of English. Like Korea doesn't
Really?
have a Roman. Yeah, they don't have a they don't have a Roman alphabet. But like you go to Seoul, Korea, like basically
You say
everyone
Koreans
speaks English.
speak more English.
It's just because Japan was this island for a long time.
Yeah, would
And
you say
the-
that like Koreans just in general speak better English than in Japan?
I think
like,
it's because like there in Korea there's a lot of like U.S. military influence. Like I guess I don't know
well,
what
then
happened there.
then again, there's also that in Japan. Lots of that. in
Yeah,
Japan.
but that's just like Okinawa and stuff. And oh, are you okay? Are you alright? Are you? You
What's
wanna
today?
drink some? You wanna drink some water?
I did, and it didn't really do much.
You went to the wrong chamber.
She may be catching a cold as well.
Ah, okay.
My sibling has the flu. Oh, thank you, Lux Okamoto, for becoming a beloved estate guest. I hope you enjoy your.
Hey,
stay
Lux
at
is
Hayami
here.
Estate.
How you doing, Lux?
Oh, look at that!
Lux
He's a
is
little Eevee.
Dude, Lux is the person that keeps wanting me to play Genshin.
Stop trapping
Hey,
him
Lux,
with
how you
Genshin.
Oh, so he's the lolicon.
No, I
Got
love
it.
Genshin. Lux, I love Genshin. Genshin is my favorite game.
Stop lying to yourself.
I love Genshin. I love Lux. She's a great fan. I love Genshin. I like the asbestos wine. Yeah.
Oh,
How
boy.
dare you
How-
call me a lowly person? Well, I said you're a girl. What do you mean? I said
No,
Oh,
no.
I said that. I jokingly called him a lolicon because you know
Oh,
Genshin
really?
Impact. That's a joke
Oh,
with
no.
Genshin Impact.
oh, yeah, she's a girl.
yeah. The whole lolicon thing is quite the argument.
It's weird, yeah.
And that's
Well,
why
I
I
don't-
avoid it, unless it's a joke.
You know, you can play Genshin without being that, I think.
I'm a
It's the-
husband.
like, obviously,
I mean, there's-
yes, but that's the whole point of the joke.
There's a whole bunch of like really handsome husbandos.
I see. We have a woman of culture.
Yeah.
here. You collect
Yeah,
husbandos,
Dude, Genshin has like top tier husbandos, guys.
mate.
They got
If it's anything like my Otome days, I'm going to just be staring at the men the entire time.
I'm just disappointed at Genshin because there's
If
not
she
not
gets
like
into Genshin, I will straight up like swim all the way over there
you should play Genshin.
and like smash your phone.
The only thing disappointing about the Genshin roster is there's like no big muscular guys. Like no
course
one
not.
that fits my shape. There's no guys with beards.
I mean, you don't see a lot of that in anime in general.
No, like you look at Full Metal Alchemist, they got a bunch of buff dudes.
Yeah, like-
there.
Keep in mind, Full Metal is inspired a lot by like Western, especially like a Prussian aesthetic.
Yeah, and
But like,
Also,
My Hero
you don't,
Academia.
like, you don't
Killed by
find
slimes
lots
and
of
playing
you don't
Primal.
find lots of major Armstrongs in Japan. Like, you don't find who's that one guy from One Punch Man? You know the one I'm talking about. Wait, you don't
I
The
don't
really
watch
big
One Punch
guy.
Man.
But,
you don't
like,
watch
he-
One Punch Man,
He
No, I haven't watched it.
even though your model looks very much like Saitama.
right
Oh, wait,
now.
this one? Oh
Yeah.
no, this is from Mob Psycho.
Oh, is that the same
Yeah.
guy? Because it's definitely the same art style.
Yeah,
All I'm
same
gonna say
art
is, if
style.
you are going through your Japanese superhero art, please watch One Punch Man because oh my god,
I've
it
only
is
watched
hilarious.
up to a point, and then I kind of stopped because it got boring. I like Mob Psycho better. Mob Psycho is the superior One Punch Man.
would you say that that is your favorite anime?
Mob Psycho, yes.
Mm.
100%. Best anime of all time. Just because
Why?
Reagan is there, and Reagan's a Chad.
Oh,
Ronald
hello
Reagan?
there. Hello there, Goldie.
Reagan's a
Welcome
Chad.
back.
Yeah.
That's gonna be clipped out of context and put into like a political view compilation.
We
Reagan's
are
a
going.
Chad?
Yeah.
Reagan is a Chad, though. Reagan.
Ronald Reagan?
Not Ronald Reagan. Reagan. Yeah. Why did it suddenly become quiet? You guys don't like
don't
I'm
worry.
Mob
trying to think
Psycho?
of something to say.
Grim's just
Mhm.
like trying to make sure everything's good, and I'm just trying to get my catch my breath.
I mean, do you have any questions for us? I mean, like why I don't have skin?
Why don't you have skin? What's up with that? Yeah,
Because
what's up?
like, has that just been on the tip of your tongue, or is it just because I asked?
Is it like an Attack on Titan reference? Or
No, in fact, you would be surprised how many times I get that. Like, actually, the reason I got Twitter is because when Mama posted like the first like teaser of her new model, someone in Indonesian posted, and I don't understand what they're saying, but I saw the words "Attack on Titan," and I'm like, okay, I have to make an account. I have to clear this up.
Are you
It's like,
Indonesian?
No,
I know Hayami's
Canadian.
Thai, right? Is Hayami
Yeah.
like half Thai?
Chai.
yes.
Sawadee-krap.
Sawadika, sawadee mai.
Sawadee-krap. That's all I know.
Oh no, you said sawadee krap, which is good because
Sawadee-krap.
yeah, krap is the ending participle for males. Ka
Krap.
is
Krap.
well, males get two. They either get krap or cup.
Krap.
Girls only
Crap. Crap.
yeah.
Sawadee-krap.
While girls only get ka.
Yeah, I remember my Thai friends. They gave me like this elephant keychain. I still have it.
One
Been a
thing
long
you
time
should
since I saw.
One thing you should never call a Thai person is a water buffalo. That's an insult.
Which one?
I
didn't hear it.
you completely like cut out.
Sorry,
You censor yourself?
No, my mic has a problem with cutting out. I said, don't call a Thai person a water buffalo. That is a hideous that is a hideous insult.
Oh yeah.
My
I
dad-
imagine it's a hideous insult everywhere. I mean,
My dad, my dad
someone
got
calls
chased
me a
around
water
with a,
buffalo.
My dad got chased around with a meat cleaver by a taxi driver for saying that.
Oh yeah.
Where do you get the meat
Oh.
cleaver from? They just have it in the taxi.
Yeah,
Yep.
just in case, you know. I would have a
I
meat
guess.
cleaver everywhere.
So yeah,
guess.
the Thai word for a water buffalo is kwai.
Kwai. Kawaii.
No, kwai.
Oh,
it's a
kawaii.
No, it's a bouncing tone. Kwai.
Kawaii.
It's a tonal language, so
Bye.
If
it's
you
even
don't
harder to
say
learn.
What?
if you
Kwai?
don't say it, you got pretty close there, Rocky. Kwai.
Quiet.
Like
So
it's like
kind of like you're kind of like you're asking a question, right?
Mhm.
Quiet.
Why?
There you
Kwai.
go. There you go.
Quiet.
And that is how
Kwai.
you say that. The neutral tone, I don't know what it means.
Yes, next time I go to Thailand, I know what to say.
Here's another thing: if you hear someone saying "soy," that means beautiful. But saying the neutral tone, "soy," calling them that means they're so unbelievably ugly that they
Oh my
bring
gosh.
that they bring bad luck.
Oh, they shouldn't put those two words together. I don't think that's a flaw in the language. I think.
Hello, Nitro. Thank you very much. For
I never
joining.
understand tonal languages. They're so complicated.
So,
I don't understand either. I've heard someone like talk about it, and they talk about how like Mandarin, for example, is
hey,
just
Suki,
Yeah, Mandarin,
Suki,
yeah.
I take offense to that. You're calling me.
anyways.
You're calling
yeah,
me an
like
ugly
that-
water buffalo. Thank you very much for that.
That like Mandarin is just like this really ancient language.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like hasn't improved or adapted in any particular way, and Like I've heard it being pointed that like Korean and Japanese are further away from Chinese and Mandarin.
Yeah. Korean, I heard, is more like English actually. Like the way the writing system is more like alphabets than like symbols.
I mean, certain
Like
Japanese alphabets are like
phonetic.
that too.
Yeah, like hiragana,
Yeah.
katakana, but theirs
Yeah.
are like actually more closely related to like the
Westerners
Roman
just
alphabet kind of, in
Westerners
usage.
just discovered the Thai alphabet, and now they think that the developers from Among Us got their design from the Thai alphabet.
Oh, I didn't know
Interesting.
that.
Very sussy language.
Amogus. I've never played
yeah.
Amogus.
It's a fun
It-
game, but like the appeal for it as a streamer game has definitely worn off.
Yeah, they're playing the duck game now, I think.
Oh, no. There's
The
a lot
duck
of
game.
like interesting things in Thai that you shouldn't call people.
Yeah,
Like I win. That means bastard.
I like Thai food. I like pad Thai.
Also, calling someone a lukgari is a son of a whore.
Oh, we want to avoid that.
I'm basically teaching everyone now Thai swear words so that you know when people are insulting you to your face.
Yeah. So,
So if,
Japanese swear words is whatever JoJo character. says.
Actually, isn't it really patronizing to be said to Nihongo Jozu? Isn't that like very patronizing and sarcastic?
No, I don't think they mean it to be patronizing, but a lot of gaijin think it's patronizing. I don't think the
I've heard that
intention
before.
was.
I've
I
heard
don't
that
think the
before, where if they're saying Nihongo Jozu, it's like supposed to be
Nah.
sarcastic, like you're
They're
Japanese.
totally not sarcastic with it. They usually just say it out of like impulse, like because they're so happy. Like the foreigners are like take that because foreigners they don't really like invest too much time in speaking Japanese. Like when you're like American, you think everyone in the world speaks English, and you come in with your English and you expect everyone to accommodate you. So when the Japanese person hear you say something in Japanese, they kind of want to encourage that because they think you're not like the other gaijin who just come in here like say, oh, like you should speak my language.
Oh,
you know,
God.
you took your time.
You remind me of something I learned because I got curious one day and I decided to type into the search, what do Japanese people think of Canada?
Oh,
And the answer is kind of depressing.
it's like
Well,
America but red.
No. Well, first and foremost, they know almost nothing about it. Not even like it in relation to America. It's just like, oh yeah, it's a country.
I know.
okay,
But like
so
when they do talk about it, there's a few common things that comes up. One of the most depressing and most common is
Maple
Justin Bieber.
syrup.
No,
So
Oh, yeah,
according
just
to Suki,
Bieber.
it's that they hate English. They prefer you speak broken French than English.
Yeah, the French.
fuck the
yeah.
French. Fuck the
Stupid
French.
American people.
But that's number one. Number two is just absolute nothingness but wilderness. And I find that very interesting because I don't think that when I think Canada, but it's like, yeah, I guess we do have just a bunch of like wilderness that's like untapped and unbulldozed.
It's like
Oh, God,
Hokkaido.
Suki.
They think Canada is just like one big Hokkaido.
Oui, baguette.
Like, I mean, when you think about it, Japan's a very small place. Like,
Mhm.
land is at a premium, so to have like huge wilderness that's just everywhere that takes up the majority of everything, that's
Mhm.
insane.
Yeah. A lot of rice patties, really.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
like, but keep in mind
oh,
that rice
hello.
paddies are there as like cultivation land, right?
Hello, Mother. Thank you very much for joining.
More. Hey, welcome.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Mort.
he's-
The only thing I
He's a
know
furry.
about the only thing I know about Canada is they made those cool, scary '90s shows like Goosebumps And
Wait, Goosebumps was Canadian.
yeah, Are You Afraid of the Dark? They made all those.
The only
lot
bit
of-
of
lot of-
the only bit of
lot of shows in-
Canadian, the only bit of Canadian TV that I know of from the '90s is the Red Green Show.
A lot of like 90s shows are actually Canadian.
Hmm.
Also, like I know like Quebec is basically France.
No, they're
Well,
not. They want to be France. They
Yeah,
desperately
they're
want
like-
to be French.
They
but-
don't want to be included in Canada or something.
So the way it worked was during Confederation, they were given a choice to either A, not become part of it, and if America attacks them, which was very likely at the time, they would basically get no help from everyone else. Or B, they could join Confederation in the event that America invades. And they said, fine, but we get to keep our Frenchness.
Hmm.
And so ever since then, like maintaining that French identity has become like, okay, the Quebec identity isn't being French, it's the Quebec identity is fighting to be French, if that makes any sense. It's like
I see.
trying to be that kind of distinction is definitely a sort of part of Quebec. Not all of it, obviously, but I mean, I don't think there's any other province in Canada that has attempted separatism at least twice.
Yeah.
Plus,
Very
they are-
educational episode today.
Plus, they are, they are so conscious about the culture that they've kind of like gotten the reputation of being the most racist province, just
Oh,
because
yeah,
they
I've
want
heard
to.
about that. Yeah.
And it's not because they like don't like other culture. It's because no, we just want to preserve our own and make sure it doesn't become too Angloid.
Mm-hmm.
So it's complicated.
Yeah.
But hey, they're the only like province I know that actually has cuisine.
Oh.
Like
Right.
I can't think of any other Canadian cuisine besides poutine.
Poutine
Isn't
is like
pout-
the
Isn't poutine just like like the In-N-Out fries?
So poutine it's fries.
Like monster style fries.
It's fries with cheese curds, preferably melted, because if
And
they're not
animal
melted,
style.
because if they're not melted, then it's shit poutine. Because you gotta get that nice stringiness to it, and it's
wow.
covered in gravy, and that's basic poutine. Like people
That
have
sounds really
reinvented-
good.
It
But
is.
it's probably a ton of calories.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely a very hearty dish for surviving the harsh winters. But that's the basic of it. Just 3 ingredients, very simple. But there are like other forms of it. Like I've seen people add bacon in it. I've seen people add like beef and like vegetables to it. So it's got KFC gravy basically.
Oh, nice. That sounds good.
It is nice.
Yeah. But
Actually,
probably
Felicity,
something
you should try
you'd
making
only-
poutine at some point.
Yeah, that sounds really good. But it's probably something like you would only eat like once a year or something. Like too much of that.
And again,
too much of that
if you
could clog your
again-
arteries.
probably, but
Probably.
again,
Yeah.
you have to remember something. You need to pack on the weight for the winter.
For a winter. Oh yeah, it's not.
I don't.
like-
I wouldn't expect Japanese winters unless it's like really far north to be like
Oh,
really harsh.
that's something they don't talk about in anime.
Wait,
They're
what?
like, oh,
Like,
what?
Whenever
Japanese
there's-
winters are crazy. Well, I'm California.
whenever there's
so- it's not
Yeah.
like, I guess it's not like Canada. You know, it's not
Suki
like
is
whatever
saying that
but
poutine
like,
is a secret menu item at KFC.
oh, it is.
Hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Nani?
But
But
yeah.
yeah, like whenever there's like a winter scene in anime, it's always just like a light, gentle snow, and it's
the
like,
girls are like still wearing their high school shorts or whatever. Like when
well, like they might be wearing
No.
a skirt, but they're wearing like a coat over it, and it's just like, oh, it's just like a centimeter at most
Yeah,
of
yeah.
snow on the ground.
remember in northern Japan, especially like Hokkaido and Aomori and all that, it's actually like the most snowfall in the world. Like the top like snowfall. It's crazy. Like they got a lot of snow up there in like Hokkaido and Aomori.
Is it
And-
proper snow shovel season?
Yeah, record breaking. Like I think it's like top 3 in the world, or if not, like there was a point where like 1 year where it was like the most snow in the world, not just Japan.
Like
Where it's crazy.
on average, this region get at least 3 feet of snow.
Yeah, nobody talks about Japanese weather. I think we should start here, because like people like think Japanese weather is always beautiful. They see like the freaking anime with the sakura blossoms and all that. Oh, it's beautiful, always nice weather. Like oh, they have all 4 seasons. It's gonna be beautiful each season. No, in winter it's really hard to like move around. There's a lot of snow. And the worst part is like unlike in Canada or whatever countries like Netherlands and all that, they got good insulation for houses. In Japan, insulation's terrible. So if you don't use your heater, you're gonna freeze to death.
And they should adopt poutine.
Yeah, and the thing people don't talk about is summer, which is arguably worse than winter. It's hot in a different way than what you would expect. Like I'm from California.
You make it sound like Southern Ontario.
So in California, our summers are also very bad. It's very hot, but it's in a different sort of way. Like our summers are dry. In Japan,
They're humid.
very, very humid.
Sticky.
You can't sweat.
Ugh.
It's very terrible. Like
I can't stand the cold.
Yeah. Me neither. I think I prefer summer to winter because I hate the cold. But there's some like gaijin over here who can't tolerate summers, and they would move out because they're like, oh, I can't bear it. I'm leaving.
Yeah, like
It's really
like
funny
a combination of
because
hot and sticky. Ew.
the thing is that it's like I can't stand the cold, and yet here I am going to Canada of all places.
Yeah, I can't stand the cold either. I prefer summer over winter, definitely. But like some people, like they hate summer so much.
I have a feeling you might actually enjoy thermal underwear, honestly.
Yeah, we have thermal underwear here, like in Japan.
What? Because
People
of the
wear
fact
that
because of the fact that I like skin tight outfits.
Yes.
They're very warm, and I like them.
Like, they're skin tight, but they feel very comfy.
Yeah. They're really comfy.
And like very woolly almost. And like every time you move, you can feel the friction. So it's like every time you move and like every time you just rub yourself a little to get warm, it's just always warmer.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
It's good. Yeah, you should get one. I sometimes just wear thermal underwear around the house by itself. They kind of feel like pajamas.
They do.
Yeah.
They're
kind of like really silky smooth pajamas.
I just prefer to be in my birthday suit.
Yep. Just walk around like naked.
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, while we're on the
Sometimes
subject of like wearing like thermal underwear to bed,
What?
as you know, I'm Canadian, and I do something that most Canadians don't do. I sleep with the window open during the winter.
Oh, why'd you
Like-
do that? That's weird.
You fucker! You better get
It's-
used to having the window closed because I will kick you out of the bed
yeah.
if you do that.
I would probably kick him too if I was in the same bed.
I don't even like. It started like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I just kept sweating in my sleep,
Oh, we got.
and then I just started like it got so hot, and it's like I need to crack open a window. So I crack open a window, and then I just wrap myself snug in a blanket, and I like the coldness because it makes me snuggle even tighter into the blanket. Although I do wake up with an incredibly dry nose.
It's very strange behavior, I think.
I just can't stand it, and if it gets too cold, my nose bleeds.
Yeah, I hate the cold. I'm a summer guy. I like summer. I like going to the beach.
I prefer like the hotter months because it's easier for me to strip down and cool off than it is for me to bundle up and warm up.
But I love spring the most.
And meanwhile, I don't even have skin to take off in order to cool off.
I hate the argument that people like to throw at us. People who like the heat. They're like, oh, but when winter, you could just put more clothes on. You could just put more clothes on. And in summer, you could only take so much off, and then you'll be naked.
Yeah, you can.
What? But there's a point where it gets so cold that no matter how many clothes you put on, they'll still penetrate. There's a limit. You can't get infinitely hot. All that heat is from your body heat.
And to that, I ask you, what are you doing in the Arctic Circle?
But it gets that cold in Hokkaido, dude. It gets that cold.
Okay, then what are you doing in Hokkaido?
That's where you live, mate.
People live there. You can't just say, "Oh, you just put more clothes on." Put more clothes on.
Oh, I want to try I want to try
putting more clothes on doesn't increase the heat. It's still your body heat. It just like traps the heat. It doesn't like make it hotter. You know.
The thing I want to try is like the milk bread from Hokkaido. Being the big foodie that I am, I would mainly go to Japan just for the food.
Yeah, I understand that. Hokkaido's got really good food. They're famous for ramen. That's also where the beers come from, Sapporo and Asahi.
Yeah. Just thinking about
Hokkaido's like a whole different country. I want to go there someday.
Just to try out like their milk.
The culture is like super different. It's kind of like Okinawa. It's like a different. For years, like Hokkaido wasn't even part of Japan. Like in the Sengoku period, where like the samurai times, like Hokkaido wasn't part of Japan. It's like it was like Ainu land, and then they only like got it like during the Meiji period. That's where the game Pokemon Arceus is based on. Hokkaido. Sinnoh is basically Hokkaido. I don't know if you guys are Pokemon fans or anything. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
I mean, she definitely is.
Huh?
I got out of it when I was in high school, basically.
Pokemon. Oh, there was this thing that was really cool earlier this year where a bunch of VTubers were actually like kind of like role played as like gym leaders, and I thought it was really fun. I wish they
Felicity did that.
Oh, she did? Oh, shoot.
I have a alternate universe where where myself is a gym leader.
Oh yeah, no. This isn't like one thing, like one VTuber doing it. There was like an organized thing where they kind of like held this event, or they set up like 8, like no. I think it was like one gym leader for each type, and then we had to like defeat at least 8 of them to get into like this tournament. And it's really cool. And like I met a lot of VTubers in that event, because the gym leaders were VTubers, and they were like they're kind of role playing as a gym leader, and it's super fun.
Ooh,
yeah, I wish they'd do it.
We just chat on for ages because we've been at this for 2 hours.
Yeah, you guys are really interesting. You guys ask interesting questions.
Oh, it's just that we are just very much just interested in different cultures and how people how people actually live. So it's just
anthropology is one of my interests for sure.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, as a huge lore buff, I absolutely love all the different legends behind Japanese yokai. I do have to admit, one of the funniest ones has to be Shirime.
Is that the butt eye thing? Shiri means butt, and me means eye.
Yeah.
So it's the guy with the eye and the butt. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Like from what I remember of the legend, it's literally just a yokai that plays pranks for fun, and what he does is he pretends to be an injured person on the road, and then when people go to help them, they then strip down.
You got the butt eye.
Yeah, they strip down, bend over, split their ass cheeks open, and show the brown eye.
Oh, you should do that as a prank. Why don't we do that IRL? Like we just like pretend we're dead on the road, and then we just insert something in our butts that looks like an eyeball, and then when someone tries to help.
Here's another question for you. That I just thought of. So
Okay.
I heard this a while ago, and that is
Yeah.
that. So it was a story a guy was telling about his friend who works at Lockheed Martin,
Mm-hmm.
and says that they had like a bunch of like Japanese businessmen or like emissaries coming there for like a
Mhm.
purchase, and you overheard them at lunch talking about King of the Hill.
Oh yeah, I could imagine that happening.
And they were debating about whether or not the dub captures the original spirit of King of the Hill,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whether it's subbed.
It's something Japanese people might talk about. Yeah.
Would you say so?
There's-
Would you say?
There's fandoms for everything in Japan. There's fandoms for trains. There's
I like
train
trains.
otaku. Like they would just go to stations just to take pictures of the newest trains.
Mm.
I swear to
Now-
God, this is a thing.
My
And
sibling
it's
says
not just like one. It's not just a few people too. It's an actual community of like.
my
train
sibling
otaku.
actually gets unnecessarily angry whenever you use the word otaku around them. Now I must ask, is otaku actually derogatory towards the people that are called that, or is there a different word that is used for that sort of thing?
Okay, yeah. I guess it, like everything, it's contextual. Like.
I could be wrong, but doesn't it translate to parasite?
I'm not sure, but otaku in modern times, it's kind of like just like the American version, like it's just like a nerd. But you know, like even chibi is kind of derogatory if you use it the wrong way, because chibi technically means little person. But so if you say you're chibi, like they take it the wrong way if you say.
Oh
it out of
yeah, like
context.
if someone calls someone a chibi scat, that's why they called it
Yeah.
a midget, a chibi fetishist in Lovely
Yeah,
Complex.
so it just depends on how you use it, because they are called like they self-call themselves like densha otaku, like they refer to them as that, like train nerds. But then if you like use it in a way where it's like otaku or something like that, like in an aggressive manner, then a lot of language is contextual, even English. If you use it in a derogatory manner, then they will take it in a derogative way.
And that does make me wonder if there really are like Japanese swear words, like a lot of them, or if it really is.
Just context.
A lot of it's like, I
Because
guess
again,
like the popular swear word, like quote unquote swear word, is kuso. It would just mean shit. But
Does
like
that also translate to fuck?
Wait, doesn't kuso mean stinky? Or is that kusai?
No. Yeah, kusai is like shit. So like I guess that is stinky. Yeah, kuso means shit. And that's like the really popular one. And that's like the F word to them. They would use kuso for like, oh, if you hit your foot on something, like so or something, or it's the multi-purpose word, I guess. But underneath it all, it's not really a bad word. It's not like like this is the word that's bad. But in most contexts, it's a bad word. Because like that's the
Sorry about going quiet there for a little bit. It was just that a scam caller tried to call me.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, luckily though, a lot of Australians tend to know when like a scam caller tries to call them, especially if it says in the little thing underneath the picture, it says Symbio Networks. Okay, that's a fucking scam. Goodbye.
And
the problem is they're
kinda
constantly
surprising
checking.
that there's not a lot of like scams in Japan, because I would imagine like if those scam callers learn Japanese, they could scam a lot of people in Japan.
Actually,
Because
I guess that is a thing. Like, because not a lot of people outside of Japan learn the language.
yeah, because Japanese people are very trusting that nothing bad will happen to them. Like people leave their cars unlocked, engine still running. They run to a konbini and get something, and nobody like steals the car or anything. They just like leave
like
it running.
it's like how Thai people just don't care if you walk into their house. They just think you're there for a visit.
Like people just leave their there's buildings here that you gotta take your shoes off, and nobody will steal your shoes. They can just put them in the cupboard and there's a bunch of people in the building, like
Yeah.
people come back out and in. You just leave
I'm
your shoes there. Nobody will steal them.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised that
bicycle.
Japan doesn't have an issue like that. Like, and you know what this remind me of? This remind me of The Great Pretender.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if
It's,
you've ever seen that anime.
Oh, the anime, what, the scam artists.
Yeah, but like,
I saw like a few episodes.
yeah, same. I stopped paying attention.
It got
Yeah,
boring
the-
after the plane part.
The interesting
Hmm.
thing is that most
Crime rate is the crime rate in Japan is super low. I think
lot
it has
of,
something to do.
a lot of Asian cultures, they tend to be a bit more friendly towards strangers because, like I said, Thai people, we let people in if they just knock.
Mhm.
Even
Like-
if we don't know you, it's like knock knock knock. Hello. Oh, you want to come in?
You say Asian people are friendly towards stranger, and here I am remembering the era of isolation as well as like China's like superiority
How about
complex
this,
during the Qing Dynasty.
People in Japan, like I said before, like they don't really like associate with that these days. They're kind of like their own thing now.
Hmm.
It's like a totally
Fair.
different.
Although,
Like nobody will say, "Oh, Imperial Japan." All that. You know,
I-
nobody.
Those are
It's
those-
almost like Germany, China, be like, you know, like,
I know,
"Oh, we're-"
exactly. But like, there is a certain degree of like, I guess, nationalism still in Japan, and like you
Like,
said,
maybe for like
it's-
old people, you know, like really, really old, like.
Like,
you know?
would you say that Japan has any kind of second language?
No.
well, like
Japanese.
Japanese has like the different dialects. Like if you're from Okinawa,
Yeah,
they
yeah, I
sound
know, but,
they
like,
sound more
like-
rural.
But no,
like-
no, like.
Like
foreign
in
languages.
America, they teach Spanish. In Canada, they teach French. In England,
No,
you get like a
It's
choice of
usually
three
just
languages.
Japanese here.
They don't teach
English.
any other.
They try English. They try. Like English, they try to like master English, but they're still not there yet.
In Thailand, basically any Farang that wants to like teach English, you don't need a license. You just have to be able to speak English, and that's
Yeah.
it. You can be an English teacher in Thailand.
You need to speak
Yes.
Thai.
No,
No, in Japan it's the same case. Like you don't really need to speak Japanese to teach English.
literally,
They
all
actually
you have to do
they
is just
actually
go,
prefer-
okay.
They actually prefer people who only speak native English here. Like it's like gaijin freshness. You know, that's the term. Like if
Yeah.
you start
Gaijin
speaking
freshness.
Japanese, yeah,
in-
yeah. If you there's a term when it comes to like the educators here in Japan, where if you start like getting into the culture too much, you're getting too Japanese. They'll say like you're gaijin freshness. Yeah, that you're not gaijin fresh anymore. So they're kind of gonna rotate you out for like a fresh one.
That's like a
In
that is a very bizarre kind of racism. Not gonna
In-
lie.
in
I
Thailand,
don't know if it's racism. It's more like, you know, like
What?
You-
you're
like,
being
too-
you're being
they-
You're
they
being
don't- they
assim-
don't want-
you're being
they don't want
assimilated
you
into.
speaking- They don't
you're
want
being
you speaking Japanese to the kids while you're teaching.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
basically just it's just to make sure that they learn a bit more English
Yeah.
rather than the pigeon English.
Yeah, 'cause
As
if
it's
you're
called.
getting too into Japanese, they're like, okay, yeah, you're forgetting English, you know. this
It's
isn't
like how
interesting.
it's like how in Thailand we also have a term for the farang. It's called farang si, which means like the color of a foreigner or a foreign color.
Ah.
So basically, when you start knowing more Thai than English, you start to lose your farang si, and
Yeah.
What does that make you, someone who was born in Thailand but knows way more English?
me, I'm a look
Very
sao
fresh.
farang, look sao farang. Which
means,
just- Which means I'm a half foreigner, because luksao means like child, young child of something. Which is quite funny because my mother's nickname is actually Sao, which is Sao means young in Thai.
it means pig in English.
And yet
yeah,
my mother
Sao.
my mother's actual name, because Thai people we have the name that we're given, but then we also have the name that people call us. So for me, I have I'm not going to say my real name, but
Yeah.
I have one.
Don't do that.
I have my real name, but then I have another name that I go by. My one of my
In shortened
cousins.
form.
Not really a shortened form because my uncle Suck, his name is something I can't pronounce for the life of me, but we call him Suck. And this
Uncle
is the
Suck. Got it.
yeah, just don't make fun of him because he has the right to fist you up the ass and hard since he is a commando squad leader. Commando squad being the Thai SWAT team. And also one of the current governing forces in Thailand, since most of our politicians keep ending up corrupt.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
See, when you say that, all I can think of is like Praetorians in ancient Rome, where it's like, oh yeah, it's definitely the government that's corrupt, not the guard force.
Like, it's basically
there's,
every single time we vote in someone, it's found out that they've been taking a few too many kinds of bribes.
That's how it is in America too, really.
I don't think America is the
businesses.
same. Like I've seen this in like different cultures, and it's especially not something that you find in cultures that are very individualistic like America.
Mhm.
It's more of
as long as you have money in politics, it's kind of like the same thing. you got super PACs and all that. It's kind of like
I don't
bribing
really
in
know
a
that.
more formal way.
So if I had to guess, since I don't know
A
much about
legal
Thai
way.
culture, but if I had to guess, it would be a country that's sort of like, to use the term that a Greek scholar used to describe Greek society, urban peasants is the word he used, where it's like, you move these people from like the country to the city, but they haven't developed a sense of individualism or a sense of like wider belonging, so they still see themselves in sort of like family units and clans that are tight knit. And so anyone who is outside of that, you can't trust. And this is by the way part of the problem with like Greece's financial situation is basically like clientelism, because nobody trusts each other. This is what a low trust society is called. Like anyone outside your family has to like owe you a favor for you to trust them. So you end up with like literally favoritism or like clientelism.
Yeah.
And when it gets mixed into politics in the public sector, that's when you start to get like
Corruption.
that's when you get like 13 different hospitals employing gardeners, even though only one of them has a garden.
It's just mainly with Thailand, like, while our governing forces right now are mainly militaristic, they still have to gain the favor of the reigning monarch to make sure that the decision is correct.
And they never try to like pressure or like overthrow the monarchy.
We love our monarchs. It's only our current one that we don't like.
Because like again, going back to like the Praetorian Guard, who would, let me tell you what the Praetorian Guard have done at least once.
A lot of history talk in this interview.
So
I'm a
Praetorian Guard are douche.
Subjects here for.
I'm a history
Guard
buff,
are
so yeah.
Well, I mean, you're a prehistory buff. You like dinosaurs. But
paleontology nerd, okay? Shut up.
Yeah. Very interesting educational show here.
Without any more interruption, let me explain to you why the Praetorians were a bunch of absolute pricks. So they have a track record of killing lots of emperors, and in one particular occasion, not only did they kill the emperor, they auctioned off the throne to the highest bidder. Keep in mind, these are supposed to be the royal guard. And
very interesting.
When the guy who won the auction, it was time to pay, and they found out he didn't have the money, they fucking killed him and took the money anyways. So this is why when it comes to like, when you're talking about the Thai royal family, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like any royal guard of any kind, like, you better be careful, because they can basically become their own mafia.
Na, na, na,
Let's see.
na.
It's
Hey, what? Sorry,
You
I
weren't paying
kind of...
attention, were you?
I flew off because of the music.
That's okay. That's okay. I get it. I'm boring.
It's
Hey,
more
Don't be
that
rude about it.
I didn't...
No. I get it.
No, it's not you that's boring, it's the subject matter.
Exactly. It's all right. I'm not pissed off. I'm not offended. Don't worry. Anyways, so let's talk about something that is far more interesting.
okay.
Are the Japanese, are there that many, like, theme parks that are, like, abandoned in Japan?
Yeah, a lot of places are abandoned in Japan. More than you would like kind of imagine. It'll kind of surprise you when you go over here.
Yeah, especially when you consider like how little space there is in Japan. You would think that they'd be on top of like recycling it all.
No, it's more like because a lot of the action happens in the big cities like Tokyo, Osaka, and all that. So a lot of when someone dies in Japan, like they own a house, right, and then they pass it on to like the heir, like the next person. But the next person is like own an apartment in Tokyo where all the hustle and bustle's going on.
So you get like these like abandoned mansions.
Yeah, they don't like they don't really care about like selling the mansions or anything, so they kind of just leave it to rot in the countryside, and you'll see a lot of them.
Yeah, and
It's kind
I've like seen lots of ghost stories with like abandoned mansions and shit.
Yeah. Also, that's another thing. They're very superstitious. So, like, if an apartment like had like a murder or something, the house had like some kind of like thing, they won't buy it. So they kind of just like leave it to rot.
the whole supernatural tax. The supernatural
So if you're a
tax.
gaijin, you're a gaijin and you don't care about the supernatural. Like, you get like cheap houses if you buy like a murder. Whatever, murder house.
Yeah, because in Thailand we've and in parts of Korea, we call these places murder homes, and essentially the rent is so significantly lowered because of of superstition that mainly foreigners buy these places.
You know, I'm thinking of starting a brand new industry, and we're gonna call it the murder house industry. And what we're gonna do is, all right, we're gonna rent houses out to a bunch of guilos, a bunch of foreigners, all right, but we're gonna turn them into like a murder hotel situation where they're gonna be like booby trapped, so that we get all these foreigners who come in for cheap housing, we kill them, we resell the house.
Come on, Grim. Come on, Grim. That's just bad. It's making me think of Sweeney Todd, goddammit, because what are we gonna do with all the bodies?
Why, have you never heard the joke of the wheelchair mafia?
My rent is actually pretty cheap.
Yeah,
my rent
they
is
break
like,
your legs so that you need a wheelchair, and they provide the wheelchair.
My rent is like $200
It's a joke, by the way.
a month, and I live next to a graveyard.
Ah, that's why it's so cheap. You live next to the dead.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a suicide forest?
Aokigahara, oh my god. You don't go to
That's actually a very serious topic that a lot of people want to avoid.
I know, like they don't even call it that. Like they intentionally avoid calling it that.
I don't like it how it's turning into this tourist spot, because it shouldn't be. I think it's a very serious problem.
It's a place where hello there, Jester. Thank you very much for joining.
The problem is, like, it's very much a case of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like people say it's haunted, and therefore it gets like a legendary status, and that is why they stopped calling it the Suicide Forest.
It's its proper name is Aokigahara.
It's actually it can't go there. Actually, they closed it off. Nobody can't go.
You're not meant to go there.
Yeah, you're not like freaking. Was it Logan Paul?
Yes, Logan. Logan got fucking banned.
That gives Gaijins like a whole
horrid name.
Bad name. Yeah, like.
And the problem with that is
so
that he did stuff so fucking shit. He did so much shit. He got banned from the entirety of Japan.
Yeah.
You know you fucked up when you get banned from an entire country.
Yeah.
Wait, all because of his like incredibly bad taste video? or because
Not
of something
just
else?
not just Aoki Gahara. He was doing all sorts of vlogs in Japan that were in terrible taste.
It's really
Like
What?
like throwing
I think the most serious one was the Aoki Gahara, really. Like that.
Yeah.
Like the whole
Absolutely,
like the throwing Pokeballs at police officers, like whatever. But like that was
Oh
like
my
super
God.
serious.
Yeah,
Like,
he was throwing Pokeballs at police officers, wearing a Pikachu
Yeah, that's
onesie in the
bad
middle
too.
of wearing a
Don't
Pikachu
get me
onesie
wrong,
while speaking
that's
bad
cringe
Japanese to
and
people.
bad. But the thing that probably got him off the country is like it's not a tourist spot. It's not a thing that you should make fun of. You know, like he came there very disrespectful. He put the thing in the freaking thing in the thumbnail. You know,
He
like
put
the
the
dead
corpse
body.
on the corpse on a thumbnail. Yeah, very much
He
just
wasn't
disrespecting the
thinking.
dead. You do not disrespect the
disrespecting
dead.
Japan in general.
I know. At the same time, though, there is something else like about it that sort of irks me, and that's just the fact that, like, it's the fact that this place is very much, while they try to cordon it off, I feel like that almost gives it more of a legendary status.
Yeah, well, it shouldn't be. I think stop.
It
We
obviously
should stop
should be.
glorifying. We should stop glorifying this thing. This is a problem that Japan needs to deal with. But you know, like, we shouldn't
But
make
I
it like this
think,
whole
like-
magical thing. It's Hayao Miyazaki. Of people died there. Oh, it's ghosts. You know, it's not that. It's
But
serious.
the problem
you
is,
know?
that when you, and here's the thing, is
Oh my god, my heart!
what the hell?
ヘイフェリシティキャレットキャレット。
Are you okay?
Someone just donated bits and gave me a fright.
Oh.
Thank you very
No,
much,
but,
Faye,
like-
for donating the bits.
Like, so coming from the area of the internet I came from, like, what I can say is when you try to, like, ban something, you only make it more enticing. And I feel like
Right,
that's
like
exactly the case with the
prohibition and stuff.
suicide forest is, like,
Please don't call it
Why
the
aren't
Suicide
people-
Forest.
like,
Just call it
people start to
Aokigahara.
yeah,
Yeah, just
people,
cool it
Sorry.
down. But it's not really that interesting, honestly. It's just forest.
yeah,
Right.
that's the thing though, but people get this idea that there's something spooky about it and the government cordons it off. So at that point,
Yeah.
you gotta think it's
'Cause
gotta be like
people
some kind of
don't- They don't cordon it off because they don't want tourists to go there. They cordon it off because it's a big problem. People want to commit, you know, inside.
They want to put themselves into
They put-
self-deletion
You
there.
don't think that it creates a certain level of like Area 51 style intrigue for the local population as well, where it's like, why?
They put
don't
a
we go
bunch of
here?
signs saying "Think twice before going here." Like,
And with the
Yeah,
local-
but that's the
with the-
thing. That's the
with-
thing. That's reverse psychology, though. Like you're only enticing people to see what's on the other
The
side
thing
of the war,
is,
even though it's just
if I
fucking
remember,
forest.
if I think back to like my friend from Japan, they actually hold a lot of respect for these places, so they know not to go to these places.
Yeah, don't go there.
Hmm.
It's
The
not a
local
tourist
the
spot.
locals are smart enough, but it's the bloody farang that decide to just walk in anyways,
Right.
because they
Yeah,
think they're
it's
top
like-
shit.
Locals, do you mean like municipal locals or just the entire country? That's another.
It's a sad
question.
problem that shouldn't be mystified by, you know, people who don't understand it. Like the deep-rooted problems in Japanese society that just people kind of like make fun of. Like, hey, look at these are ghosts, ha ha ha. It's not that. It's not something magical. It's not something mystical. It's a problem. And
There's
Japan
also,
is
like,
kind of
all of-
ashamed of it. They don't want people to see it, and they don't want people to keep doing it.
It's like those of us who are actually from these places, we don't want people making a grand scene of it.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
We kind of just
I'm
wanna
being
hide.
It still feels kind of like a Streisand effect thing, though. Would you at least agree that there's a certain amount of like?
I guess,
Something
like, yeah,
there.
It's-
it creates a
it's-
certain mystique to it, like you said, an Area 51 kind of thing.
Yeah,
But,
like where
you know,
the more you try to
it's-
keep people out, the more you make people think what is there if I'm not allowed
Yeah,
there.
all you're gonna find is just like corpses and, you know.
It's just basically that
Trees.
a lot of but that's the thing. The more foreigners that go into these places, the more that some of the locals will hold a lot of disdain for them.
Yeah, this thing, yeah. Also, we gotta understand that these corpses aren't just like props. They're not like, Dark Souls corpses that holds items. No, there used to be people with families. And
With
they had
very-
problems that led them to that choice. And like when people go there, like, oh, spooky, they're ghosts. Oh, they're corpses. Oh, but they forget that there were humans once. They had
were-
like problems.
They're just... It's just the levels of
They had their
disrespect.
Yeah, for real. It's a lot
At
of
the same
disrespect.
time, though, I can't think of any sort of like analog, like in Canada or in America for that.
Yeah, we got like different problems in America.
Like,
Most of
Like-
our suicides are like from guns, right? Oh, I said the S word. Sorry.
That's alright, that's alright.
Right,
I mean,
know it'll
I-
trigger some people if you say the word. So
I lost a couple people to that, so that's...
yeah.
So I understand that it can trigger people, but
In Japan,
It's
there's
like-
no guns, so that's why people go to the forest. There's no guns in Japan. Only the policemen have guns.
here
Alright,
here in
so,
Australia...
I think we found a way to demystify the suicide. Sorry, whatever forest. I can't remember the name.
Mhm.
Aokigahara.
And that is
Are you
just give people
People
guns.
Oh my gosh. That's a different culture. Like,
I mean,
I
keep in
kinda
mind,
don't
I
want
don't.
that to happen. because people in America, they're always like, oh, like crime can be prevented. Just give people guns. Everything will be better. Just give everyone guns. But look at Japan. There's like no crime. Like, dude, we don't have guns. Nobody has guns. Like barely
Here-
any crime.
Here in Australia,
Then again,
a-
I don't.
a lot of-
I don't think,
a lot of...
I feel like that's more of an ingrained cultural thing than a we don't have guns
Americans
thing.
like, oh, just if everyone have guns, then everyone will be scared and nobody will try nothing.
Yeah,
But in
I,
Japan,
Now-
like, Japan is like,
now
oh,
you
we
know
don't
you
care.
know Japanese culture way better than I do, but I would say, from my completely uneducated opinion, that I would say that you could like legalize firearm ownership in Japan, and I don't think a lot would change. I feel like the low crime
It's a
rate is
bit-
much more of a cultural thing. Like,
I see it as a fragile, like thing though. That if we kind of mess with it, we're gonna lose it. Like, right?
Possibly.
Like,
This is
here it-
something
here
that's
it
then again, that's also exactly what reinforces the culture in Japan, is the idea of outside influences, and this goes back to the Edo period and the era of isolation, and just social conformity is such a huge
Yeah.
thing in Japan.
Like
guys,
in
uh,
Australia... Oh, do you need to leave?
Oh yeah. Thank you guys so much for having.
This
me.
was fun. Sorry we
It's
didn't
been
talk
fun.
too much with you.
I expect like a Vtuber to like talk more about like lewd things and stuff, but surprisingly, it's a very intelligent conversation.
That's mainly
I
because I'm here.
appreciate
It's mainly,
quite well.
it's mainly because I'm here and I'm the one who's interested in like.
Now,
like
I have a lot
anthropology and
more
history and
respect for Vtuber viewers now. I could tell they're very intellectual people.
It's just that
Educational.
while we may talk about wanting to get fucked all the time, we do want to have a decent chat every so
Yeah,
often.
well,
Yeah. Plus,
But-
I have a tendency to like turn everything into a Joe Rogan podcast.
yes, and I really enjoy it, guys. It's been fun. I found it very enlightening, but
Incredibly-
unfortunately, I need to go soon.
Okay.
And
It-
take
it
care.
was-
I need to head out as well. So good
All
night,
right.
everyone.
So, arigato
Thank
gozaimashita,
you.
minna, go shujin-sama, and everyone in between. I
It's
hope
been
to see
a-
you. It's been
been
a
a pleasure. Thank you for
It's-
inviting me.
It has been absolutely wonderful. Let me just find someone to read it out to, and then we can leave. Cause I always seem to like have to forget to do this beforehand, cause I'm the big stupid. Okay.
Well, thank you guys so much. It's been a real pleasure talking to you guys.
All right.
And
So
hopefully we could hang out again soon.
Of course, it would be so much fun to like play some some games with you. Although I think the more Souls-like games would be more Grimm's territory.
That's nice.
Because I don't play games that would intentionally make me upset.
It doesn't make you upset if you just relax when you play it. I'm very relaxed when I play Souls games. I find them kind of relaxing. Actually.
Anyways, a bayonet.
Alright, so Grimm's gone, he has to go out. And
right.
He's, so we are going to go raid out to an Eldritch Goo, my friend Bora Bora.
Alright, thank you guys again. I'll see you next time.
Mata.
Bye.
Hold on a second. Okay. /raid. Remember to give the raid message, Hayami Raid. And thank you all so much for joining me on today's absolutely wonderful Hayami Estate episode. I'm sorry I had to go PNG mode for most of it. Just, my computer didn't want to have any of it, to be completely honest, and yeah. So, remember to put this in the raid message. And... Arigatou gozaimashita, minna, goshujin-sama, and everyone in between. Thank you all so much for joining, and until next time, abayo ne!